against the pressure. Ooh, yeah. Battering down the pressure. Oh, yeah. Soldiers, many are called, few are chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Gotta fight the right fight in this time, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. We're coming to you live from the beautiful Ligony Club in Kingston, Jamaica. And we are welcoming all those who have joined us on air and online. To those in the studio, we say good morning and thank you, Lloydie, for getting us up and going. And to the producer who's doing double duty this morning, producer and chauffeur. Good morning to my son, Daniel, who's standing across from me. Wave to mommy. I hope you have a wonderful day at school. And beside me, no other than Pastor Percival Palmer. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am well. You see, my son is here.
Yes, I saw him.
I get to show up. I'm not going to cry like how you cried when your daughter was here.
That's all right.
You know, that's
it shows up my heart in tender heart. I have a wonderful heart full of compassion.
Okay.
And a heart, and it's
and I don't. Because I'm not crying, I need to cry.
No, I'm not saying that. But you know, as we speak about passion, and we're coming to the end of
things are tightening up right now.
Passion, yeah.
Yeah, we look back this morning. We were talking about what's Christ doing today. We know he's going to have dinner with his disciples, and he's going to wash their feet. And yeah,
say, "When are you?"
Betray me.
Oh
God.
What a
oh
thing.
God.
What a thing. What a thing.
Yeah, so we're trying to be very dramatic this Easter, stepping into the moment, going through, the passion of the Christ, because I think especially now in Jamaica, when we are on the brink of birthing and a revitalized nation.
Something new.
Absolutely.
Different.
So
something they've never seen before. Something that they're going to be wondering.
Yeah.
Am I a part of this? But can a nation be born in a day? Yes,
absolutely.
It can.
Absolutely. With the right midwife?
Yes. Hey. Yesterday you told me about midwife.
Midwife.
So we're having midwife. But
with the labor ward.
With
Christ. With
all the things that are happening. And it's gonna be a bright. I can see clearly.
Clearly. And you see, such a beautiful morning. And to Earl, good morning, Earl. The mangoes are coming in. I've set up a little pile of mangoes for Pastor Percival. Wish you were here when you're doing your world tour or your Caribbean tour. Stop in Kingston, Jamaica.
I will give you
hopefully
some
on a Thursday morning and just say hello to us. But all right, it's 6:32. We've actually gone a little bit past the first break. Please stay with us. We're going to be right back. This is the Morning Connection. And this morning we're here at Ligony Club enjoying a little bit of the cool ambience of JD's Urban Pub, who they are our hosts on Thursday mornings, and we're grateful for that. Let's take our break.
Nothing beats.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credits and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society presents the 68th commemoration of the 1963 Coral Gardens atrocity against Rastafari. Bad Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th at Jarrett Park, Montego Bay. Banquet for the elders and testimonies. 7 p.m. is showtime, featuring DYCR, Rastakura, Ainify. Saturday, another all-day panel discussion by Raga on the ganja industry. Showtime 8 p.m. featuring Bushman, Mikey General, Maki Conscious, Warrior King, Nature Ellis, Hezra, Historyman, Fredlock, Jaranx, Major Light, Iziniga, Rankin Pumpkin, Okonko, and more, all backed by the Irie Connection Band. Friday admission is $500. Saturday, $1,000 at the gate. Jarrett Park, Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th. Sponsored by Ministry of Culture, Entertainment and Sport and Brown's Laundry and
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call Call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Half a tree. 100, 200. Ready, mama. Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Yes, Jamaica and the world. You want us back? We are back. The Breakthrough Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Bess100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Bess100 FM, 100.1, 357 and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Bess100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it till it busts.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you best of them because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you best of them because you're better than the rest of them.
With the land, because remember, one of the things that has happened as a result of us entering into this new kingdom is that you have to go displace the people who are sitting there, because it's your land. But when you take the land and remember what we had said, some people complaining that, boys, what we come find. But the fact is that you are on this land and you have a responsibility to clear the land and to replace it with what it is that you have. So it's very, very important that we do that. I remember yesterday what we spoke about. Yes, remember what we were talking about yesterday?
Yes.
You don't
Which
remember?
aspect of it? We spoke about many things.
No, I'm talking
You
at
and
the
I are
very
together
beginning.
for 4 hours.
No, but I'm talking at the beginning in terms of what we shared about in regards to how we need to be, and again, the whole theme of being responsible for our actions and walking in that. And so, as we spoke about the passion of Christ, it was an interesting thing in terms of Jesus looking. We spoke about worship, worshiping
Let me
in
notes,
spirit
because I
and
feel
in
like
truth.
I feel
And
like I
we talk
missed
about that
something
lady.
specific.
I talk about the lady. Remember that lady? Jesus says there's a time coming that those who worship him will worship him in spirit and in truth. I mean, we spoke about what that represented, because even he was looking at it, and he went into the temple and he kicked over all of them and said, my house will become a house of prayer. And to just understand what he was referring to at that point in time in terms of saying, this temple, even when it was erected it should have been a place that everybody who came into relationship would enter into freely, as we are raining mangoes out here. And it's going to be raining in terms of God's goodness to us, as that veil that prevented us from entering into the Holy of Holies, back into God's presence, is removed when he died. And so I am excited. I'm expectant. I'm expecting this week, as we are celebrating Passover or Pesach, according to the Hebrews. It was a time of miracles for them in terms of moving forward. So I'm excited. I'm just excited as we remember what it is that God has done for us in Christ. And I keep reminding people of that. What God has done for us in Christ. It opens the door that we can go walk back into purpose and we can become everything that we need to be. So that's where I'm at today. My purpose is going to be fulfilled.
Every time you mention that you are expectant,
yes,
I think again about the birthing of the nation when we opened this morning. I'm very conscious right now that Jamaica is in the labor ward, virtually speaking, that a new Jamaica is being birthed. Very conscious of it. I suspect that many of us have a similar feeling at different points in time, because I would say the birthing of a nation is a complex thing. When, I love the Bible stories, and when Jacob and Esau were coming into the world, and one upped out his hand first,
and they pull him back,
and and the other one. It's interesting that, remember, it was Jacob whose body part tried to come out first. He ended up being second born only because it was the wrong part. They were twins. And they were, if it was a single baby and the foot come out first, they would call it like a breech birth, but they would have taken the child out. But a body part showed he was the first one to experience the outside world, but Esau was the firstborn. And I feel like, even though that over time and in the telling of things, it's been Jacob has carried the narrative of having taken his brother's birthright, but really, a part of his body came out first. So the truth
were fighting
is,
from
they were
striving in the womb.
Yes, and if things had gone, if the rest of him had followed the first, or was it his foot? I think it was his foot that came out. Anyway, suffice it to say, there was every indication from the struggle in the womb that Jacob was intended to be the firstborn.
Yes.
That was his clear intent, to be the firstborn. But, as maybe it was the midwife who arranged them, who took them out in the order that they eventually emerged. But you will see through a series of extraordinary events that Jacob did, in fact, claim the birthright.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
It did come back to him. It's one of the little things in Bible lore that you could write a book about, but sometimes it escapes attention. Maybe I'll be the one to write the book.
You remember somebody said that you're going to be writing a book?
Oh, gosh, yes. That's been so many times. I'm the one who is being lazy in following through with that particular prophecy.
I don't see you as a lady person.
I've started to write. I have things, in development, but not published as yet.
Okay. All right. So
like you.
Yes.
You have your
I have a book in draft.
Yeah, but you know what?
Mentorship, and then the other one.
A book in draft is just an idea until it's published.
Yeah, it's basically it's written just to be edited and
released.
Yeah.
All right. So Percy, this season you shall give birth to that book.
2 books actually.
What, twins?
Yes. No, it's serious. It's been. I remember years ago, I was talking to somebody who moves in the prophetic, and he said to me, there are 2 books that you need to write.
Struggling in your womb.
Yes,
You
there are
need to
2
come
books.
out.
He said it, and he says, those 2 books will take you to another level in terms of the message that
Yeah.
you need to speak to the world.
And you're slowing down your own progress.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
but some
You
other
look-
things
yeah.
had to come.
You look great this morning, by the way. Listen to me. The man is well pruned. If you, okay, so it's radio and most of you not seeing Pastor Percival.
Mhm.
But I can tell you, he's looking fine.
Mhm.
Your barber is to be given every kind of credit. He did a complete job. He's plucked like a chicken.
No, no.
You look good.
No,
yeah,
thank
what's
you, man.
happening today? Is going in today? You want to look good for the crucifixion?
You look good for it.
Well-
Turn into you then.
Well, can I tell you, reading about the horrors of slavery and the lynching of slaves, which was high fashion in antebellum South in the USA.
Uh-huh.
A lynching was a grand event.
Are you kidding?
Yep.
That's
I mean,
gruesome.
And it was a thing too. They sold pictures of it. You dressed up and came out, and crowds. You know, black people always draw a crowd. Well, the lynching of a black man,
Was a major
a
event.
major social event.
So why would what? That's sick.
Extremely.
That is how low they had
Mhm.
sunken to.
It was entertainment. Thousands of people. If you ever get a chance to read the book Cast, Miss Wilkerson,
No, sir.
she goes back into history and she has 1 or 2 pictures of. They took pictures, and if you could buy a piece of the black man's clothing or a piece of his body, or that is America. That's why they don't want it taught in schools. That is why they don't want critical race theory to be a part of the curriculum in schools. That's why they would like modern generation, current day generation, to believe that it's a thing of the past and it is shrouded in mist. There's some aspects of it that are ugly.
All right, let me see now.
Yeah.
The fact is that what you just spoke about is written history, because if it wasn't written, then they would not know about it. So are you saying that in regards to the history that is given to the young people, they don't know about the lynchings and the car?
Don't want them to know that that's how low the white people sank in their behavior in times that you could actually, there are persons who could look at a picture and see their ancestors in it. It's not in the shrouded mists of time. You could see your great-great-great-grandmother in it. Or your great
Because a lot of people have done track their history. And they see the pictures and so on.
Yeah. So, you know, there are some things that mankind has done, and we read of it and we know that it really happened, but it's romanticized by the passage of time. Like even when you read in the Old Testament, and you remember when, of course, you remember the Balaam incident at Peor.
Balaam, when he wanted to curse.
Right. And then there was the occasion when the Israelite men, the Hebrew men, were spending so much time being distracted by these foreign women. They were bringing them into the camp, and a plague broke out.
Yes.
Okay. And while the plague was running, Eleazar the priest
had to run.
Took this. A man came in with a woman, one of the Midianite women, and the priest took a spear and drove it through the body of both the man and the woman,
because they said it was
contaminating the camp.
Yeah.
And the moment he did that, when they fell to the ground, the plague stopped. Now you read it, and the horror of a priest dressed in his priestly garb, committing what we would say is murder, and not just murder, double murder.
Yeah, because
Two, he killed the couple who were carousing in the camp.
That should not have.
That act so pleased the Lord, it is recorded, that the plague which had been set amongst the people came to an immediate end. Now, when you read something like that,
You look at the immediate and you don't think about.
And you don't think about the horror of seeing two people laughing, and maybe they were a little drunk and maybe embracing, and it was clear that they were they were breaching the rules of camp.
They were breaching the
It's clear. It must have been clear. And the priest was so enraged. He took a spear, and it was recorded as righteous anger, and his act in killing the two people brought the plague to an end. When you read something like that, you don't spend a lot of time imagining the blood and the horror of it. You just, as you say, you just see the end of the plague, and it comes down in the story and the telling of your history as something great. But could we get away with that today?
I don't think so.
All right. So now, critical race theory and what the effort that America is going through now to keep out of the tender minds accurate knowledge of their own behavior and misdeed, and to keep out of current conversation the reality of the connection between those misdeeds and the continued oppression of a class of people who you could no longer say, you can't look at the excellent performance and attributes of Black people in America and try to say, yeah, there was a time, when they were subhuman. There was a time when we could walk on them. There was a time when we had the right to treat them any which way. You can't look at President Barack Obama or his wife, Michelle Obama, or just think of it, some of the athletes and the entertainers and the academics and the judge on the Supreme Court. You can't look at those.
2 or 3 Black judges.
Yeah, you can't look at them and try to tell the children of the day that, yeah, they clean up nice now. But I'm telling you, man, you should have seen them 60 years ago, 100 years ago. You can't get away with that. So what it is, they don't want them to know that this is what. But, all those efforts to keep people away from knowledge is futile.
Yeah, but as I'm hearing you, and I'm just reflecting on this gospel of the kingdom, which speaks about we all being one in Christ, and even though it has been used in the past to tell one race, you see, you must stay there.
Inferior.
I'm saying no, because when you look at the very heart of God, a God who declares that He has loved us with an everlasting love that's not changing or doing anything, that just liberates me. And you always speak about the imagination of man.
Of man. It's an expression that I love.
The imagination of man.
Yeah, man.
God, man in his imagination, who seeks to do everything within his power to negate who God is in reality. And I'm just saying to us, and I see a lot of things unfolding locally, nationally, internationally, that people are saying that this God who loves us is a figment of our imagination, when He has so demonstrated His love for us, in that while we were going on with our foolishness, He manifested Himself and came and says, this is how my Father operates. Because look at it. Remember how they treated women, even in their culture, to say that they were second class.
Yes.
And then Jesus, in one fell swoop, like one, we have the instance when they brought the woman caught in adultery and was stoning her. The men,
they wanted to
stone her, and he bends down into the sand and he thinking. I wonder what he was writing.
He was writing Percy, 6th of May. He was recording their sin. And they knew, because the Spirit worked. Immediately the Spirit planted in their consciousness that, hey, he's writing what you did. You would have been stoned 10 times for that act that you committed.
Yeah.
But you know what I love about that, the adulterous woman story,
Mm-hmm.
call it story, I think about the malice in the people who you catch a man and a woman naked.
Yes.
Because they say we caught her. There's no doubt that they were not washing clothes or just having a cup of tea.
Yeah.
That we knew what they were doing. And they didn't want to deal with her then and there. They said, where's the teacher? The man that we want to trap.
Yes.
Can you imagine? They were able to restrain their great outrage at this moral breach.
Yes.
And haul her across town. They might have said, where is he? Okay, I know he likes to be back. Just imagine that.
Let's go. Let's go find him.
Let's go find him. So we can use this as an opportunity to entrap him. You could think of the many times when we ourselves behave in a similar way. What does that tell you? We are not outraged by the lack of morality. No. Because when you are outraged by the lack of morality, you do what that priest did when he took the spear and dealt with it right on the spot. No question asked. He didn't call together a council. He didn't say, should I kill them?
No.
He did. No. He sprang into action and he did something which expressed his outrage. He said, what? In the middle of this? We are dropped down dead. Plague is on our door. You know that it is the slackness that will go on within the camp that has brought this to us. And you coming out here, carousing with your woman. Are you mad? And he sprang into action. No, every defense lawyer could get him off. That is not something that you could really hold a man.
Passion.
It's a crime of passion. And what a passion. The passion was for the reverence of God.
Yeah, the righteousness of God.
The righteousness of God had been affronted right in the face of, as we are being punished for our misbehavior, you have taken it to a new level. You shall not live.
Level.
And the force with which he struck the man with the spear, it went through the bodies of the two of them. That I can understand as outrage. A crowd of people who catch a woman in a house with a man and take the woman out and I drag her through the town to go find the man. You know how it was.
No, but seriously, always where is the man in all
who
of
made it possible? No. The man get a blight. This is too how we treat with corruption. Some people get a blight, but somebody else is dragged through the streets to be held up as an example. I always say, they took the woman all over town to find Jesus, not so they could bring her, use her, punish her as the law declares, but so they could use her sin as an opportunity to entrap. I love the way he turned the tables on them. May he turn the tables on your enemy just the same way. I am pronouncing it. For those who find themselves in a situation where, you made a misstep, but those who became aware of your error, instead of dealing with it for your good and for the good of the society, they choose to put you up, they pillory you. I love that word. They choose to put you up in order to bring someone else to shame. They were trying to get to Jesus, and Jesus rescued the woman. When she was there standing up, I guess to show you, she was probably wrapped up in a sheet or something. Because why bother to attend to her modesty? Because your plan is to stone her.
Yeah.
So as far as you're concerned, she did already. You just don't want to use her as an opportunity to entrap the Christ. And did he not perform beautifully? This is what we call on him for. Yeah. This is why he died and opened the door for us, because when we are that woman caught in something obviously wrong and need mercy and compassion.
Redemption.
We offered it. I love it.
It was just the redemption. So, and he says, so where is the
woman? Where are thy accusers? When him look up, he knew. And this is why we speak as we do. When we say there is a way that is right and just, find it and stay with it. It is because we know once you're on that path, you are going to get the compassion of God. You're going to get access to the knowledge, the goodness, and the amazing power of God, because he turns hearts. They're looking at some people and we write them off already. We said that generation is lost. But do you know, if those of us who stand in the gap as intercessors and as advocates for repentance and the return to a righteous path, if we do our work well, the Spirit of God will move the hearts of those that we have written off.
And said
So there is no but dustbin for men, as we like to say.
That's what I said. Say that again.
If we who stand in the gap as intercessors, as advocates for the path of righteousness and the repentance of this nation, if we do our job well, those whom we have written off, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God, will turn their hearts.
Yeah, and that is and that is such a very, very, very powerful message. That's why I believe in miracles.
Absolutely.
I believe.
Me too.
I've seen men who, when you listen to their testimony, men and women, and how far gone they were. And God turned it around. John Newton said, wretched John Newton, that famous
of Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. And the producer is back on.
Why is he telling us to break?
Yeah.
We're on a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 7 o'clock. We're going to take our break. Before we take the break, I want to share what Earl Brown said so we can laugh about it in the break. Earl says, Jamaica is birthing its first republic. Hope Jamaica don't go the way of France and have 5 republics. Frank had quintuplet? I find that funny. 5 republics indeed. Yes, let's take our break.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
The following is an excerpt from the 2023-2024 budget presentation by Prime Minister the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
Members will recall that the actuarial review of 2013 showed a dismal state of affairs and the sustainability of the NIS was threatened if immediate steps were not taken. In fact, the projections at that time were that cash flow would be negatively impacted by 2025 and the scheme would be bankrupt or run out of money by 2023. Madam Speaker, the administration I lead took decisive and deliberate steps to implement a raft of reforms, the last of which was implemented in 2022. Today, I can stand here and say that those measures have borne fruit. The latest actuarial review, which was completed in January 2023, shows that the viability of the scheme has been extended for 15 years. Madam Speaker, pensioners are among the groups that have been ravaged by the recent high inflation. I'm therefore pleased to announce that based on the performance of the National Insurance Fund and the recommendation of the actuaries, the old age, widower, and invalidity pensions and all other benefits payable under the National Insurance Scheme will be increased. Effective April 1, 2023, the flat rate for the minimum weekly pension will be raised by 74%, moving from $1,700 to $3,000 per week. The pensioner who currently receive $2,550 per week will now receive $3,500 per week, a 37% increase, and those at the top will receive a 24% increase, moving from $3,000 to $4,200 per week. Madam Speaker, a number of other benefits under the NIS will also be increased, effective April 1, and will be announced by the Minister of Labour.
Imagine a Jamaica where every child has a family, a Jamaica where every child is inspired to dream, where they are loved, protected, and cared for. You can help make this dream a reality by fostering a child. For more information on how you can become a foster parent, call the Child Protection and Family Services Agency at 948-2841-2 or apply at any of our locations island-wide. We dare you to inspire hope and foster a child.
No man, watch the pile of rubbish in the public space. People nasty, you know? Hold on there.
Sandra, where you stop for?
Look here, me have to take a picture and send to NSWMA. You never hear about the app where you can use to report illegal dumping and littering?
Now what you say to me?
Yeah man, you can call them or download the app from the Apple or Google Play Store.
Well, me have to go download the app because enough littering me seeing at this town here.
Report littering or illegal dumping in public spaces to the National Solid Waste Management Authority. Call 876-448-3220 or download the NSWMA app to report illegal dumping and littering.
At MOJ, Ministry of Justice, come access quality service to keep order within the nation. We facilitate good relation. Legal aid to your pocket. A little is child diversion for you to need expertise. Victim service, we help you cope with grief. Restorative justice, build back the peace. No matter where you come from, and we say justice for all Jamaicans. MOJ, Ministry of Justice, come access quality service.
MOJ, taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
Miss, your total is 8,900. Cash or card?
Do you take credit cards?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Here. And here's my ID.
All right, just stay here for a minute. The machine is right over there.
Stay where? Try not to say anywhere you go with my card. Me I go to. You go on. Me I follow right back at you.
When shopping, never let your debit or credit card out of your sight. Your information can be stolen in a split second. Protect your card. Protect your cash. A safety message from the JIS.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society presents the 68th commemoration of the 1963 Coral Gardens atrocity against Rastafari. Bad Friday, Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th at Jarrett Park, Montego Bay. Banquet for the elders and testimonies. 7 p.m. is showtime, featuring DYCI, Rastakura, Ainify. Saturday, another all-day panel discussion by Raga on the ganja industry. Showtime 8 p.m. featuring Bushman, Mikey General, Maki Conscious, Warrior King, Nature Ellis, Ezra Historyman, Fredlock, Jarax, Major Light, Iziniga, Rankin Pumpkin, Okonko, and more. All backed by the Irie Connection Band. Friday admission is $500. Saturday, $1,000 at the gate. Jarrett Park, Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th. Sponsored by Ministry of Culture, Entertainment and Sports and Brown's Laundry and
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Yes, Jamaica and the world. You want us back? We are back. The True Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Bess100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Bess100 FM, 100.1, 357 and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Bess100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it till it busts.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. We're so pleased to be here outdoors. It's getting a little moody right now. Do you know?
The sun has gone?
Yeah.
Sun has moved,
It's
but
retreated a bit, but
we just want to acknowledge some persons online.
yes.
You looked at our good friend Earl, the world
Yes.
traveler, as well.
World traveler.
Earl, the world traveler. But to say hello to Miss Shirley all the way in Toronto.
You don't want to say Sister Cheryl?
Toronto, who has agreed with us that it's a time of miracles.
Yes. It says, good morning, my Jamaican family. Yes, a time of miracles. We are alive to declare freely his goodness. That's a miracle. Some can't as we speak. Yes.
And as we were talking about that, the woman caught in adultery, and our response to it, and how Christ responded. But I think the bigger issue for us is there are so many people that we write off as being irredeemable.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
We have no business doing it in our self-righteous ways.
Yeah, because, and I was joking to say to you about my grace growers.
Oh.
When you were teasing me, I said, how much of them you have? But as someone who has had to interact with persons who they're looking for something better, they have come to you and say, I need help. I recall and reflect on a young man who came years ago. He's now deceased. And we would sit down and we would talk and we'd say, yeah, man, I'm going to do it. And you saw him making some headway. And then I says, but I can lead you to the water and I can show you a different path. But if you don't,
so he was one of your grace growers?
Yes. But
how is that? I'm concerned now that you and I have different meaning of grace growers. Because,
no. I'm reflecting on being irredeemable. Because a lot of people have said he would have been irredeemable. And I was just saying to him, change. And then one day, it just came to me and says, you got to make a choice. And then he left me. And the next thing I heard, his mom came and said,
he died in a violent way?
He died in a violent way. He was killed.
He was involved in doing something illegal, or he got caught between two forces?
Got caught between two forces.
So he may have chosen.
Yeah.
And ended up being caught anyway.
Ended up being caught.
Because, it's something that I'm always conscious of, that we may, with our lack of knowledge, we may think that a person did not make the right choice in the moment he was called upon to choose. We may think it when in fact
they did make
the choice.
But in the transition.
And they made it in time, because there are some things which will happen and you can't shake it. It's not going to go away. Christ came to die and he didn't even want it to shake it in the end, because he understood that unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it will be a singular grain that don't feed nobody. But when it dies, it brings forth a harvest. And he understood that. And so will you in your moment when you realize that some self-sacrificial move, standing up for a principle, even when the principle doesn't appear to be bearing any fruit for you in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take that decision, you shift something in your own eternity.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming closer to crucifixion. That is tomorrow is when we would honor that occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting about the crucifixion, the account of it is, Jesus didn't die alone. There were two, one on either side of him. And everything about a prophetic life teaches you something, really. So even in the moments of his death, what's recorded of it tells you that he was teaching a lesson. On one hand was an unrepentant, criminal being punished.
Yeah.
On the other was another one being punished, but who chose to be repentant.
I said, please remember, because the other one was mocking him.
I said, yeah. You're so good. Free yourself and bring us out of this too.
And the other one says, no, we deserve it, but him, he don't deserve that. And
he turned to Christ and said,
and then the Father says,
remember me. Yeah. And let me tell you, man, you gotta imitate Christ, because before he gave up his last breath, he was able to promise the man.
Yes.
This day, you and me,
we're going to be in
paradise.
Amazing, so powerful.
Yeah.
In terms of what it
nothing
does.
Wasted is what I'm seeing.
But the fact that even some of it, I tell you the truth, there are some people you work with and you hope. And then after a time you have to pray and say, all right, Father, I look like my time with this person now. There's probably somebody else who can reach them. And some of the time you have to come to that realization to say, all right.
Well, there are two things happening in a believer's life. You have technical abilities that come out of your professional training and skills that are there to be a resource to those who need you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have grace, the anointing, the spiritual enablement.
Enabling power.
That is given to you so that you can get into a situation which the door is closed to the graceless ones. Let's put it that way. If you're dealing with, we're having a guest today that I'm really excited to speak with, Coach Corey Bennett, coaches the Heidel team and the esteemed Calabar team. Calabar, Pastor Percy, we've been able to get the coach to speak with us. And we're not going to talk about some of the behaviors that we've seen manifest, and we've seen how persons cope and how they've reacted to it. And this coach, I think, will be a very interesting guest for us. So let's use an example that comes from his world. You have young people in training, high energy, some of them coming out of situations where the personal code of conduct is not the greatest.
It is not.
It is an eye for an eye. You hit me, I hit you back. I hit you harder too, so you know not to hit me again.
You're not going to hit me again. If you do it, you know what's
up. That's a code. That's a code.
That's a code for them.
That's a code. And they enforce it with discipline. So you get someone like that whom you're trying to teach them now that you can turn the other cheek. Remarkably, that is mind-blowing to someone who has grown up scrapping for survival. You need a combination of grace and technical skills. The door may be closed to someone who the young person, the child, will not even look at them. But you, with your grace, can establish a rapport,
build
a relationship to open the door. But once you've entered and you see the extent of the dysfunction, you may realize that this child was severely traumatized, abused at different points in their life by persons they trusted, by strangers, whatever it is you discover. If you don't have Pastor Percival's psychology training, there isn't much you can do beyond commiserating with the individual and praying for them. They may need someone who has the technical skills to guide them through unpacking all of that drama, processing it, and filing it away in the different places in their mind where they can begin to heal and be restored to normalcy. I make that point to say, you may find a person beyond redemption, irredeemable. But the reason you make that judgment isn't because of anything in the individual, it's because of your shortcomings. You don't have the skill
sets
to enter into that work.
And it is true, it is important. That's why I'm saying some of the times, even our field of counseling, somebody comes and you say, I don't have the skill set. And we need to recognize that to say, ethically, we are bound to say, you come, but I'm going to have to refer you to somebody else. And it's not that I don't like you or I don't like it. It's just that in terms of my skill set,
it won't give you the desired result. There's also the fact, too, that all of us going through life and wanting to be a blessing to each other, me, if I am going through a tough divorce, personally, I'm going through a tough divorce, and I'm a lawyer, and somebody come to me who's going through a tough divorce, and they need advice, I need to create legal strategies to address their particular situation. I really should not touch it.
It's unethical.
Well,
we say would have said to you it's unethical.
It's not unethical.
Because they're going to probably project onto them some of the things.
It's not unethical because another person might find that they can give the level of compassion and care based on their intimate knowledge of what the situation is like. Another person might find that it cuts so close to home that they become
raw wound.
So you as an individual must do the analysis and see whether you can be a blessing or a hindrance in that situation.
And in those instances, we are saying just at the top of the bat, psychologically, you're going to be a hindrance to the person because a lot of projection is going to happen and your judgment will become clouded in terms of what advice you give to the person.
You know, they have those funny moments in comedies where you're getting advice and suddenly the counselor begins to speak in the first person. And right away you realize that, that's not my story. That's your story. Yeah, you realize that even when we are offering professional services, we are also living through our own trauma. And therefore, we could hurt when we are seeking to help.
Yeah.
And you need to have that awareness to pull back. So to the point that we started off, the grace growers. the grace growers may come to you in order for you to mature and be more, acquire greater skills to assist others. Or they've come to you because you already have the grace.
And pass through that.
To be a blessing, yes, to that individual. And it's not you growing, really. It is the other person in whom the grace you're transferring of yourself into that person so they are strengthened. All this that we're talking about cannot happen in a world where we are separated by hate and malice.
True.
We have to truly feel love and respect for each other.
Compassion.
In order for us
Empathy.
to empathize and to draw from our own, emotional storehouse in order to build up someone else.
And I tell you something, it's a principle even in terms of pastoring. Some of the times you go through things, oh Jesus. There's a scripture.
You have to give a testimony.
No.
You gotta say what you mean by that.
No, I am just recalling for us as a couple how we work through my daughter and the loss of her hearing. We moved through that, and I can tell you, for me, it opened my bowels of compassion even more to be able to deal with people who are going through pain and you are saying, but God, why this? Because I asked God that question. Why me? If she was born, all right. And why this happened? And somebody look at me one day and said,
why not you?
Why not you? But God has given to you that you having the grace. He's giving you the grace to deal with that you are better able to cope, and that has helped me. It has opened up for me deep bowels of compassion to understand what people are going through, to like when Jesus says he was moved with compassion, or Jesus wept. I think for me personally, I cry easily.
I know. You need a rag?
No, you don't need a rag. No, it is just what has happened. You see people.
Say you need a tissue.
It really causes a deeper understanding of the plight of people, of individuals, what they're going through, and you're going, okay, yeah, you can understand. And it enables you to also to pray. Because some of the times the breakthrough happens for people when you are praying out of your very bowels. And you are entering into.
You're using the word bowels a lot. Why? To psychoanalyze you. What's with the bowel talk?
Bowels of compassion.
I know. I have it in the declaration.
But it's just that.
It's in the gut. It's all in the gut.
And
Why? Why you laugh, Percy? I know it's free-flowing Thursday. Did I look down on your gut? You felt me look at her?
No, but
well,
so it is. Jesus was moved because he could enter into where the people are at. And it was out of that, even as we contemplate him going to the cross.
There's a Pharisaical question on the chat for you.
What's that? A Pharisee?
Yes, I hope Earl don't object to my calling you. It's the type of question that the Pharisees like to put to Jesus. Pastor Palmer, did the thief went to heaven with Jesus Christ today? Or the thief have to wait on the rapture resurrection when the last trumpet sound?
I don't. If Jesus says today you will be with me,
yeah, it's today.
It's today, and then
that ends it.
Yeah, but then
the Lord has spoken.
Yeah, in terms of his spirit being there. But then on the final day,
and you hear it twice.
Yes, yeah. He says today I want to go. Let me go deeper into that. But I don't want us to miss the point that you're raising in terms of going through something and it giving you skill set to help somebody who comes to you, but also understanding that some of the times you have to recognize that you don't have the skill set, so you have to refer them to somebody. Right. And also to recognize that that process is building in you a greater resiliency to help other people. And I was making the point that they say some preachers, because that's something that some pastors have been through, they can better able minister and speak to. They're not speaking from head knowledge, they're speaking experientially. And therefore, there's a lot of wisdom and understanding that comes out of that position. So for me, I don't allow any experience just to pass. When it happens, I keep asking, what are you teaching me?
Yeah.
What are you teaching me?
You don't close your mind to it or block it or drink your way through it.
It's not a joke, you know.
Percy turned. Like, what? Who told you?
Some people drink their way through it.
Under the big tree. That was
no, some people drink their way through it because some people say, for a lot of people, alcoholism comes about because they're trying to drink away their pain.
They're numbing the pain. They're numbing the pain. All right, during the break, I will be drinking something. Ginger tea, just to be clear. But let's take our break and then we'll be right back.
Bess100 FM, broadcasting live in all 14 parishes. Hanover 100.5, 100.9, St. James 100.9, Trelawney 100.3, 100.9, St. Anne 100.3, 100.5, St. Mary 100.5, Westmoreland 100.1, 100.5, St. Elizabeth 100.1, 100.5, Manchester 100.1, 100.5, Clarendon 100.1, 100.5, 100.9, St. Catherine 100.5, 100.9, St. Andrew 100.5, 100.9, St. Thomas 100.5 and 100.9. Bess FM, giving you the better vibe.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Crystal Clear and Sharp Vision Ultra Clear is a total natural herbs formulated to activate the adult replacement stem cells in your body, sending them to the eyes to repair the damaged cells. Take 1 teaspoon daily in hot water and watch the improvement in your vision. To get yours, call Hafco Herbs 876-540-8871. That's 540-8871 or WhatsApp 533-0462.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Walton Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them.
Good morning and welcome back. We have fun during the break, you know. We do have tremendous fun on set here during the break.
Probably one at a time.
Some of the things we can't even share.
We will do one of the things where Mike during the breaks and people can't hear. You know that they do that. Like you watch football games and they're going Mike. But what I was sharing in terms of the scriptural basis, it's 2 Corinthians 3. It says, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we have ourselves received from God."
What's that? 1 Corinthians chapter 3?
No, 2 Corinthians.
second.
2 Corinthians 1.
Verse
Verses 3
Oh, I
and
know
4.
I heard 3.
3 and 4, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes on to speak about the things we suffered and it's teaching us something and so on.
Nothing is wasted in the kingdom. Every experience you have. Every experience you have. What is Mr. Basco saying? Round and round the mulberry bush. Tap dancing like Fred Hester. Who's doing that? Good morning, Mr. Bosco.
But and you know I am.
So you have another request.
Yeah, with Jesus. Jesus when
John chapter 20 verse John chapter 20 verse 17, where Jesus was speaking, the resurrected Christ was speaking to Mary, who excitedly saw him there. Yeah.
Because can you imagine Mary? I saw him die. I saw him being put in. I saw them seal it up. And he's dead to all intentions of everything. And now
here he is.
Here he is,
standing, talking to me.
And
it was not an apparition.
No,
it was not a ghost. No. He had substance to him.
Right.
Could eat fish and make fire and sit down and chat with his brethren. Right. But he could also pass through doors and walls.
Because he was
a different body.
Which is what we will have. And so what happens, because of the ceremonial law, if you go back into Leviticus, and they speak about must touch it dead. If you touch it dead, you have to.
Yeah, you're impure, unclean for.
Right.
Yeah, so
that's why I told her, don't touch me. I have to go up to complete the process in terms of Father, the Father saying, all right, you're good, you're clean, you can go back now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of our listeners online asked a question, which is what Pastor was just addressing. He wanted to know what is the meaning of John chapter 20, verse 17. And we'll just describe the scene for you. Mary is seeing the resurrected Christ, and what she sees, she could cling to, she could touch it, she could hug him if he permitted it. And when she reached out, he said, do not. One of our listeners asked, what does it mean? What was he really saying? And so, yeah, Pastor has explained it. When you contemplate the nature of this resurrected body, it is not the body that rots and nourishes the soil. It's a different body. It's clear. It has different properties. It can eat food, which, ghosts don't eat food. What we know as apparitions, which do not hold a dense form. And just so you don't think that this is just some kind of nonsense chatter. Particle physics, there is a whole discipline in the study of physics, which looks at how matter holds form and recognizes that even us as human beings with fat body, skinny body, dense bone and soft fleshy parts, that we are not as substantial as we think we are, but we hold form and color and density, and we hold it long enough for blood to course through our veins without falling to the ground. So there are different levels of density based on the body part and its function. But man has studied physics enough to understand that this form that we hold, whether it is in the shape of a tree, a chair, or it is a body of flesh and bone and blood, can discorporate, can explode, can be pulled apart, can melt away, any which word you want to use to describe what can happen to the body under certain physical or environmental conditions. All of you already know that certain frequency of sound can cause different physical matter to shatter.
Yeah. They use sonic boom to mash up things.
And we were all listening to listening and hearing about the mysterious illness that was afflicting American operatives in China, in Cuba, in Venezuela. These persons who became so ill, and the only thing they could point to was a sound that was being emitted and concentrated in certain quarters. We're not hearing much about it now, but please do not believe that the technology has disappeared.
No, it has not disappeared.
They're just refining it.
You remember some people have even spoken about with earthquakes and the fact.
Yes, HARP.
The HARP technology.
You can emit at the frequency that can cause different things to disintegrate. And we have seen some of the best singers who, no, not Percy, who hit a high note and it causes glass to shatter. Remember now that glass is made from sand. The dirt that, they say man come from dust and will return to dust.
It is just that it's there. It's just for us to discover
and understand the connection between those things and the spiritual things that we speak about. I talk about this a lot when I get a chance, how people who believe in God and the mysticism of God and the miracles of God and the supernatural happenings of God, those persons are usually dismissed as crackpots and superstitious illiterates. We've been called pseudo-intellectuals, and every kind of disparagement has been aimed at persons who operate in that level. But I am telling you that slow as man is using the tiny percentage of our brains that we currently do, we are, I'm going to say stumbling, because some of it is a stumble. Yeah, we are stumbling on some of the mysteries of the universe that open up to us the understanding of these things. So we know, for example, that this body, which 2,000 odd years ago, Christ said to Mary, don't touch it. This body is unique, it's different. And many people scholars are writing about this body. We know that there are some people who don't believe in in resurrection, and some don't believe in reincarnation, and some call it by a different name, and so on and so forth. That debate has raged for as long as mankind has had this body, the one that rot and decay and melt into the ground. Now, we talk about the rot and decay that takes place over a period of time, and we say that that's the natural course of things, because in this gravity-bound reality,
environment,
this is how things go. But do you understand that on the first day that the skin begins to decay, it can disappear?
Mm-hmm.
If the measurement of time changes, it can disappear.
Mm-hmm.
If you appreciate that everything that takes a long time can also occur in an instant, you will,
in the twinkling of an eye.
In the twinkling of an eye, you will begin to apprehend the mysteries. And we don't want to decode it, because what's a mystery if you decode it? It just becomes commonplace knowledge. So the mysteries of the kingdom of God and the ways of God. I heard your brother-in-law say something so precious, that he has learned to live in that's what came back to me. Like, he's learned to live in the mysteries of God.
Mm-hmm.
To know that you don't know and be okay with it, because where you are, there is one who knows.
You're good to go.
And he covers you. So you don't have to be digging out every nitty-gritty. It is the innocence of children. And when I think about Christ pulling a child and saying,
you must become like a
children
in order to
don't stop them from coming to me, because there's this quality about them.
Yes.
is the fabric of the kingdom.
Of the kingdom. To understand that you don't know everything, but yet you know somebody knows everything.
Know somebody who
know everything, so you can't trust him.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's all right. That's all right. And it's like a child. You ever been in a thing where my father will beat your father? And
no. But my father could always beat everybody else's father, and they knew it. Hey, my father was fierce.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Warrior to the core. You didn't have to, if my father came into a conversation, it was, yes, Mr. Palmer, okay, Mr. Palmer, or Mass Melford. There was no, he had the look and the fierceness of who he was.
Are you kidding?
Short? Yeah, he wasn't a tall person, an imposing person in terms of height and stature, but there was something about his eyes and his voice and his demeanor. When him get serious, nobody play. It's kind of like that. Lowell is like that. Sweet and gentle person though he is, everybody think he's a terror. And he said, come from his father. And you know what? When I see pictures of Lowell's dad,
mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, he looks like my dad.
So that's why you married Lowell?
No, I didn't know his dad. And not only that too, his father not tall either. It's the same kind of stature. Same kind of stature. But these are men.
You're the thing when they say women marry
their fathers?
Yes.
But Lowell is tall.
Yeah,
my mom is taller than my dad.
Okay.
But hey, I love that about him. Warrior to the core. When my father, I think so. And my mother not easy either, She's the iron fist in the velvet glove. She wear you down. She's water on stone. It's a drop at a time. But you rest assured.
You're that Mrs. Palmer?
I wonder if she's listening this morning.
I said you're going.
I don't want her to know that I know.
Don't you know? But even as we move towards 8 o'clock, there are some things that
me on that.
I know me. You go down there. Me never you go down there.
Person distance himself from it. No, man.
No, but one of the things is, I wanted to comment on it, and it's a news report that we saw.
Oh, Lord. Is it about the Prime Minister?
The Prime Minister.
You know, give the Prime Minister a rest. Today is Holy Thursday, now you must be compassionate. Wash his feet today.
I must do what?
Wash his feet today, the Prime Minister's feet.
Okay.
Symbolically. Give him love.
Okay. It's love I give him.
All right, I know the report. I saw it. And I thought,
I couldn't
am I
understand
really
it,
reading this right? But I tell you that the media and the media's choice of words in reporting on things tells a lot more about where they are in their thinking
mm-hmm.
than even what the person that they're reporting on is saying. Because I find the comments that are being attributed to the Prime Minister, he's been making those all along, except for the parts that are specific to recent happenings. Have you found the story? You found it? I use mine.
Use yours?
Yeah, here. Because you're going to have to give the headline. Because today I'm washing the Prime Minister's feet.
Wholeness begs electorate not to abandon the JLP.
So look at the choice of word now, beg. I think the Prime Minister must have called on them to retract. You can't put wholeness and beg in the same sentence.
Why are you saying that?
Prime Minister begging? That Prime Minister?
He doesn't. He just does what he needs to do.
Yeah, so, and this is the Prime Minister who says that he don't care what the electorate think. He's on a legacy path. So if the electorate says, I don't like what you're doing and it's time for a change, you just need to finish the work that you have set your heart to do and let the electorate choose however they feel like, because you're doing what's right, whether they like it or not. Not true.
As when growing up with us, when our thing come, if you don't like it, come bite it. You remember that expression?
Yes. These days, if you say it.
You don't make no sense, but as children, you have somebody in office, you don't like it, come bite.
But there was that other expression, bite me. What was that about? You know that when somebody says, it's like speak to the hand,
yeah,
but it was bite me.
But he was talking on he was speaking on his tour of Western, talking about what's happening in the Cornwall region, which is a blot, because he said there, even what was in the budget, he said, going to be more. And I'm saying, okay. After I spend so much money, after I begin, people are saying, you know what, the hospital's sick, just start afresh and do something. He was speaking.
And it was a big thing in the previous election campaign.
Yes, it was.
To discredit the PNP for how they were handling things.
Right.
Yes.
And then there is the Western Regional Hospital for children and adolescents that's being built as we speak. And then, of course, the $140 million US that they're going to be investing in the Sangsa International Airport. I'm trying to understand something. If you lease something to somebody, but you hold on to it, under the lease arrangement, in terms of infrastructure,
are you putting a red herring against your own track?
No, not a red herring. I'm just asking the question.
What's the question?
The question is, if I've leased it to you, what are the lease arrangements in terms of infrastructure development and thing? You, as a leasee, you put in the money. I own the thing, but you put in, if you want to say upgrade. So I'm just wondering, what are the terms of that lease? Because I'm just thinking, yet this government said we can't hold local government election, but yet you see all of these investments happening. And I think you should, if you believe in democracy, you should say, all right, let's make the money and let the people speak, if you think that is important. But I guess it's against that backdrop that they have used the headline.
Yes, so the story that Percy was drawing to your attention, and many of you have seen it, and many of you expected it anyway, because politics is a game of shameless audacity. We know that. And we do require people to display shameless audacity. In some situations, we're calling it out of the nation. Don't be so embarrassed about your situation that you don't ask for the help that you need. And ask more than once. Ask until you get it. Be shameless in pressing for things like accountability from your leaders. And, there are some things that we need to move with great persistence in regard to those things. But the idea of a prime minister who says distances himself from certain things, begging the electorate not to abandon. The word abandon means when you abandon something, it's because you have an obligation to that thing and you choose to set it aside. So here he's saying, I have worked hard for you. you have an obligation to show your appreciation and give me your continued favor. If you vote me out, it would be unreasonable and unwarranted. And the begging part just don't even sit well. I think that that report was being very imaginative. Suffice it to say, it's politics, and expect plenty begging, and expect some bullying, and then expect some bribery. That's the nature of the beast. And we have to be prepared not to be distracted by the heat or the talk of the moment, the emotion of the moment, when persons are standing before you and telling you all kinds of, I'm gonna say nonsense, telling you all kind of nonsense. Just know, follow the issues, look at what's in your best interest, and vote your conscience when the time comes to vote. Mr. Basco has asked you, Pastor Percival, to kindly address the meaning of another scripture. I told you you're going to need to do your own show on that. He wants to know, what does 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 mean? 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 says, the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. And we already know Jesus said, no man knows the day or the hour. So it will happen without any announcement and warning and notice and countdown. The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. That's it. What people call apocalypse.
Yeah. Because in the end, I saw a new heaven and a new earth coming out. So if you're going to get a new heaven and a new earth, how's the old one going to stand? So when God comes back, when Jesus comes back,
this is the day of the Lord.
Day of the Lord. What will happen is that, okay, everything would have come, I call it, to that moment. So now he comes not back as Savior, because he came as Savior, he comes as Judge. And having done what he needed to do to bring judgment, then what is all the heavens and the earth will pass away, and a new heaven and a new earth is going to come.
So the day of the Lord is an expression in scripture that captures some common elements. One, when he comes to execute judgment. Two, when he says enough of man and he takes charge of things.
And you speak about the coming kingdom of God.
Ushering in that everlasting kingdom. I would say to those who are penetrating the scripture and others like it, you must embrace in your thinking a couple of things. One, historically, there has been a day of the Lord before. This time he used water. On that occasion, it was water. And the scientists are now pouring through the earth, the record, and they see that something cataclysmic happened
in an instant. When they go through
and it happened everywhere.
It
happened everywhere. They are taking samples from different parts of the world, different continents, and they're seeing the same thing. Layers of petrified.
And how it was laid down, they said something.
It happened one time.
Just one time. Boom. And because they're seeing, oh, come you see that and that. But that's not supposed to be there.
Right.
So something in an instant happened.
Because one of the things too, they were looking at, like you'd find the bones of a bigger animal on top of a tiny animal. And they're saying if over time an animal died and decayed, then the heavier would go down and then little ones would be on top. But they were finding like things were stopped in their track all at once. And they rested that way, got frozen that way, became petrified in the rock that way. So scientists have very kindly concluded that there was a cataclysmic worldwide event. And it has the remains are there, the fossilized records speak for themselves. So we don't have to doubt that there was judgment executed on a worldwide level. Also, those who study and talk about the Ice Age, they know that there was a cataclysmic event that brought things to a close. And the day of the Lord The day of the Lord can come for you personally in your life. It's one of the things
Judgment.
that I learned, that for each person, when they come to the end of their line, it is a judgment. It's a judgment that is executed on you when you get to the end of your life, your line. To you, for all intents and purposes, the world has ended.
Yeah. So
Did you know that?
Yeah, because it's so in a personal way,
Yeah.
the day of the Lord can come. But the one that is
The one that addresses now
is for everything.
the created world, including
Created
the
world.
land.
Yeah.
And you know, it's so funny that I listen to sometimes persons talking about it as if it is Bible lore and is some far-fetched nonsense. I think right now we are talking about climate change. And the big debate or the big issue at the heart of every discussion
trying to hold
about
it back.
climate change is that we are working this world to the point of collapse. We
And they're
abuse
trying to reverse it. Like something going to come if we continue in this part. Let us do what we can. You know, like
to
you say,
slow it down.
So, you know, like a horse going through, you go, woo, donkey, woo, trying to pull it back.
What is the horse and the donkey talk? The horse gonna try and say, "Woo, donkey!"
Come
that
on.
horse is not gonna respond. In fact, the horse might run harder. Calling it a donkey. Yeah. So we know this is the more you hear talk of climate change, the more you realize what 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 means. All right, we're right upon the 8 o'clock break. Just know in the next segment, our guests, we're going to have Miss Ruth Lynn Johnson from the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited. She's going to complete her work. Yes. Yes, April 6th.
Today's D-Day. Yeah.
And we'll go on. And we'll go on until 8 to 12. So they're coming to share with us and just topping up your knowledge on how you're going to use the mobile app features and so on. We always enjoy Ruth Lynn's company. She's going to join us at 8:30. And then for the 9 o'clock hour, we are going to have with us Coach Corey Bennett. Everybody saw what looked like a show of temper in the 100-meter finals. Class 2, young men filled with testosterone and speed.
Testosterone. All in
Testosterone and speed. Pastor Percival arranged, and I'm so grateful for that, for one of the coaches to sit and talk with us. How are we really preparing these young men for
young ladies
and young ladies too? So when we come back, please stay with us.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
BBC News with Sue Montgomery. The French President Emmanuel Macron has told Xi Jinping that he's counting on the Chinese leader to bring Russia to its senses over the war in Ukraine. Mr. Macron made the comments in a meeting with Mr. Xi during an official visit to China. The Chinese leader said Beijing favoured peace in Ukraine through political negotiations. But China's support for Russia suggests it's unlikely that Beijing will put too much pressure on Moscow. A Kremlin spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, played down the idea that China could act as a mediator in the conflict.
With regard to Ukraine, the situation is still complicated. So far, it does not show any prospects for a peaceful settlement based on the position, official and unofficial, which is declared from Kiev. So far, there are no other ways for us except to continue the special military operation.
Also in Beijing, the foreign ministers of Saudi Arabia and Iran have met for the first time in more than 7 years. Diplomatic ties were severed in 2016. But in a joint statement issued after Chinese brokered talks, the two sides reaffirmed their intention to reopen their embassies within 2 months. A Chinese spokeswoman, Mao Ning, said her country was committed to improving relations between the two regional powers.
China welcomes and applauds the continued steps Saudi Arabia and Iran have taken to improve their relations. We're ready to keep playing a mediating role and will contribute China's wisdom and strength to promoting security, stability and development in the Middle East.
Taiwan has told its commercial ships to ignore attempts by the Chinese Coast Guard to carry out onboard inspections. Beijing has ordered its maritime police to check cargo vessels crossing the Taiwan Strait. The announcement was made as a meeting took place between Taiwan's President, Tsai Ing-wen, and the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy. A regional mayor in Australia is threatening to sue the makers of the artificial intelligence chatbot ChatGPT for defamation. The programme incorrectly claims that Brian Hood spent time in prison for bribery. He was, in fact, a whistleblower in a corruption scandal. The legal action would be the first of its kind involving AI. ChatGPT carries a disclaimer warning that some answers may be inaccurate. But Mr. Hood said that wasn't enough.
It's one thing to get something a little bit wrong. It's entirely something else to be accusing someone of being a criminal and having served jail time when the truth was the exact opposite. So that sort of disclaimer is nowhere near adequate in my view.
World News from the BBC. Thai officials say fierce clashes between the army and rebel groups in Myanmar have forced about 5,000 people to flee into Thailand in recent days. Fighting broke out when rebels attacked an army guard post in the south of Karen State in Myanmar. Police on the Indonesian island of Java have charged a village holy man with murder after several bodies were found in shallow graves near his home. Slamet Tahari is accused of killing at least 12 people. Police say he has admitted that dozens of victims were buried on his land in central Java. The shaman had allegedly promised to use magic to make his clients' money multiply, but when they wanted their cash back, he poisoned them. People have begun gathering in cities across France for another day of demonstrations, with reports that traffic has been disrupted at the main airport in Paris. Trade unions and their allies are protesting against changes to the pension system. Industrial action has lasted nearly 3 months. Axel Percival is a train driver and a member of one of the main trade union federations, the CGT.
What we aim to achieve through these continued protests, strikes, industrial action and so forth is to make the country as ungovernable as possible in order to force the employers to call the government and tell them just to scrap this law because it just isn't worth it. The government is bent on basically stealing 2 years of our pensions, and we are determined to fight them.
A Ugandan government minister has arrived at a court building in Kampala to face corruption charges. The case against Mary Goretti Chitutu involves the theft of thousands of metal roofing sheets that were intended for vulnerable communities in the northeastern Karamoja region. Several other senior Ugandan officials have been caught up in the scandal, accused of receiving stolen relief items. President Museveni has called for prosecution of all those involved. BBC News.
Bess100 FM, broadcasting live in all 14 parishes. Hanover 100.5, 100.9. St. James 100.9. Trelawney 100.3, 100.9. St. Anne 100.3, 100.5. St. Mary 100.5. Westmoreland 100.1, 100.5. St. Elizabeth 100.1, 100.5. Manchester 100.1, 100.5. Clarendon 100.1, 100.5, 100.9. St. Catherine 100.5, 100.9. St. Andrew 100.5, 100.9. St. Thomas 100.5 and 100.9. Bess FM, giving you the better vibe.
Hello, hello, hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Bess100 FM. Don't you miss it.
That no sound healthy at all. Get healthy, my friends. Stay balanced. Tune into this station, Bess FM-100, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock to 9, for this wonderful program, Your Health Today, with me, Dr. Clarion Palmer. Yes, get healthy, get healthy, get healthy. Stay balanced. Bess FM-100, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, with me, Dr. P. Get healthy.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all, you can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Yes, Jamaica and the world, you want us back? We are back. The Breakthrough Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Bess100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Bess100 FM, 100.1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Bess100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it till it busts.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Hey everybody, Apostle Prophetess Dr. Juliet Fagan here. I've got some good news for you. Many of you have asked and God has
Wagwan.
Guten Tag.
Buongiorno.
We are the Kingstones.
I think I love you best of them because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you best of them because you're better than the rest of them.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Connection. We have entered the segment where our guests will begin to arrive. And our first guest is going to be Ruthlyn Johnson from Jamaica Public Service Company Limited. As you know, JPS is undertaking a massive system upgrade. They only do this maybe once a decade. And this year is it. So you have to be prepared for what you won't be getting or experiencing during the period of the upgrade. The upgrade is from April 6th until the 12th, and it is going to affect everything. This is throughout their entire system.
Mm-hmm.
It will affect disconnections. They will have something in place to handle reconnections, but it certainly is going to affect your experience trying to reach them by phone, online, mobile app, everything. It's frozen. They've chosen this time because while we are on holidays, Easter holidays, schools and businesses and so on will not be as severely affected. Tomorrow being Good Friday. Then you have the weekend days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday being Easter Monday. So 4 of the
holidays
our holidays. They'll be back online on the 12th, but it's important that you know what to expect and that you can take. I think today would be the last business day. Oh, it starts today.
It starts today.
It starts today. All right, so she'll be here, and you will also learn more about the mobile app features. Percy is new to the app, and
I'm trying to use the app.
You need a degree to use the app?
I don't think so. But,
okay, because we don't want to hear that it's too complicated for the average person to use it. But you learn more about the mobile app, the features, how you can query an early payment, or how you can get the early payment incentive or late payment fees, and how to report meter damage. Those are the things that we hope to cover in that interview. And then for the last hour of the morning, we will be joined by Coach Corey Bennett. You know Coach Corey Bennett personally?
Yes. I know him.
Man of faith.
Man of faith.
Man of discipline.
Yes. Who is a man with a plan. When you see him and you interact with him, you better understand who he is. His mom is Hyacinth Bennett, who is the founder of the Heidel Group of Schools.
Oh.
Yes.
I see.
Former principal of Old Man's Prep. In his tribute, when they won, he paid tribute to his mom and says she was the one who her vision, dream in terms of Heidel Group of Schools and the different things that they have done. So, Corey's our guest. He has served as head coach to character game teams and other things. And good gentleman. He's married with 2 children, and he also coaches his son. His son was in the cattle at championship. I think he came 4th or 5th in terms of that event. So really do appreciate him as a person, as an individual, but even more so in terms of what he has accomplished with the small teams. And he set himself targets, and we can learn lessons from him in terms of what he has done, in terms of as we seek to set up plan and work the plan until you see the fulfillment of that plan.
Which requires patience.
Yeah, patience, man.
A great deal of understanding.
Yeah, so I really do appreciate him as an individual. And he give us some insights in terms of what are, I don't know if there are secrets, but what are the principles that he uses in order to achieve what he has done. Oh.
Well, you've done some counseling with young people, and you do mentoring at Calabar High School.
And in other instances,
yeah.
So
So you have some working idea of
the thing is
what we're up against.
Yeah. Oh wow! I'm always smiling, and because I have a adolescence, which which is adults without sense. As I remember, lady who, that's what she termed adults without sense. Adults without sense, and in terms of what you have to do in terms of helping them. And one of the things I've discovered is unconditional love. They understand even as they're making choices, seek and determine what their values are, that they know more than anything else, that there is a rock, there's a reference point that they can always go back to and speak to in regards to things that happen in their lives. So we really do look forward to his time of sharing with us this morning as he does what he does best. Yes. So we're waiting on JPS. That has been interesting for me.
Oh, you want to talk a little bit about your mobile app experience?
You call, JPS call. You sign up. But I'm trying to remember what happened. But somebody asked me to check something for them, and I did. But then they said, don't proceed further if this is not your number that you're using to check. I've been calling the thing, but you are in the queue now. And if you're in the queue and you're waiting, it take a long time. So I guess is what's happening.
Pastor, we're on a roll this morning, and I just glanced at the chat and I see that one of our listeners has asked us to comment on Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 25 and 26. I'm just going to go through it.
Which one are they?
Ecclesiastes 25. No?
7.
7, sorry, verse 25. Like that, there's no 25.
Yes, I was just about to say, maybe 25, you're probably the Psalms or...
No, it's the verse I was getting caught up in. Is that one of our titans of industry going to work?
Could
and
be.
hear the helicopter overhead. Have to wait. Ecclesiastes 20, verse 25 to 26. I applied my heart to know, to search and seek out wisdom and the reason of things, to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. And 26 says, and I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, whose hands are fetters. He who pleases God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be trapped by her. All right, that's it. Yeah, man. No, this is a man who's been he's been listening to us, talking through it. The Midianite woman who actually caused the
Jewish man to die.
The Jewish man died, pinned to her body. And so much in the Proverbs coming out of the same pool of wisdom.
It talks about
speaking about the adulterous woman and
what she can do,
and the snare that she holds. And Solomon himself, having had so many wives and concubines, and being led astray because they do bring their gods and their forms of worship and so on and so forth. And we all know about the Delilah of Samson's life. Women carry great influence.
And we must not negate it, Yep. Hello.
Starting with Eve and the apple.
Wars have been fought.
Oh, yes. Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships.
Yes.
So it's both scriptural, it's historical, it's undeniable that the attraction that women hold for men is the source of many great deeds and foolish deeds. Same. And so it's always interesting. These two verses, Percy, you go first. Why am I attacking?
No, he says. He says.
Oh, yeah, he said, Minett, thanks for the interaction.
I applied my heart to know, to search out wisdom and the reason of things, to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. So he was on a quest to know what was truly wisdom and why things happen.
Well, he was investigating the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. Big trucks, they are creating havoc.
So I think about fully loaded. Oh my Lord.
But no, the idea that man is always seeking to understand either you don't spend a lot of time investigating your success.
No.
Your success speaks for itself. You enjoy the riches and the benefits of it. But you do spend a lot of time decoding, breaking apart. Why did I go this way?
Why did I do wrong?
What's the source of my madness, my folly?
Yeah.
And in the search, this wise man here says, Ecclesiastes is credited to Solomon. Yeah.
Most of the writings. Yeah.
Solomon, credited as the author of this book of Ecclesiastes, the wise sayings of the preacher. Solomon says, when him study all of the things that cause people to go astray and to descend into foolishness and madness, more bitter than death, he has found that it is the woman whose heart ensnares, entraps you, and who tie you to herself, whose hands are fetters, who bind you. Worse than death, him say, worse than death is a woman who lead you astray. And he gives his word of caution. He says, a man who wants to please God should escape from her. A man who wants to please God need to walk far from such women.
From women who will lead them astray.
Who will lead them astray.
But you know.
But then he says, the sinner, the one who is out of the will of God, outside the plan of God, will definitely be trapped by her. And it is true.
I know that righteousness is seen as a path that you walk on.
Yes.
And if that is so, then that means you have a path that you choose. Whether to go follow back on that woman.
You're not going, you won't buck up in our doorway. You remember she stands at her door
and calls. It says, come.
Yes,
and
she just in our doorway. Yeah. It's wisdom who is in the street, making herself visible, and nobody pay her any mind.
But the woman
in the shadows who says, come. Yes, spend the day with me.
Yes. So that's what it's about. But it's interesting in terms of that contrast between death and falling out.
He says more bitter than death is a woman who lead you astray. Sound like he was talking to Adam. How many times do you think Adam said, why didn't I box it out her hand?
Oh boy.
And ask her if she's mad. But you know, he is taking us on this path, and I'm not avoiding it. There is the very stark reality of the role that women need to play in
terms of guidance.
The hands that rock the cradle.
Rule the world.
Rule the world.
And the influence of mothers, because even Herbert Gale, the anthropologist, who has been writing, done a lot of work with gangs and that kind of thing, has even said that we have often said it's a male, but he says, look, if you look in our society, you see the women have a very significant role that they play in terms of the raising of their sons, of their children. And if they could do a shifting in terms of what they speak, the way that they interact with these young men, it would go a long way in terms of
Percy, it is an awesome task. It is a tremendous, heavy task that women world over must carry. Because guess what? The abuse that women suffer comes largely from men. And you, in your moment, when you can make a difference by turning the other cheek. Let's just use that to capture all that we are required to do, because we come out of homes where maybe there was a lot of discrimination and the woman some women don't get the education that they deserve. There are countries in which women don't get educated at all. They're not allowed to drive. Just now we read about in Afghanistan, the women-led radio station was shut down because they dared to play music in Ramadan. Women are under tremendous oppression by men.
True.
Now we are the ones who bear the children for the same men who are leading the oppression. And we must now raise children who need to come to maturity and not do what their fathers did.
Your influence is important. I tell you something.
You have to deny. This is truly the sacrificial denial of self, because you have to deny your own experience. You have to raise your daughters to avoid, escape, change the pattern that applied to you. Now remember, you all you know is what you know. Yet you must train someone
to take a part which is
that you never traveled.
Different. And so they need a lot of wisdom.
Yes. Yeah.
And I today I celebrate Miss Hazel. That's my mom. Hazel Smith. There are a lot of things that have happened in growing up. And you know, one of the things that she did, because we could have become bitter as children, and she said to us, he's your father, you have a responsibility to respect him. And the forgiveness that she just shared.
She put that in the milk.
They put it in a way.
Yeah.
In terms of being compassionate with all of the things, and she continued
I
on.
say the same of my mom too.
Yeah, because
I can easily say the same of my mom. And I see the difference in how we as children, we as
adults,
the generation that she was preparing, I see the difference and the impact that we have. And I can do the comparison between those that come from her line and those that come from her sister's line and so on and so forth. I can see the difference. And the difference is the work she did. So I know it is possible, and I know that it has great impact. How do we now get our traumatized women in this society to make that shift? It's a big task. I mean, I know that it can be done, and I wouldn't be speaking of it if it couldn't be done. But we have to acknowledge that is our responsibility to do it. Then there's the fact too that you remember the Leviticus passage scripture that what happens to a nation when the daughters are prostituted? This again, there was a reported, was it yesterday's paper or Monday's paper? The 57-year-old, the Jamaican man who put out his 12-year-old daughter
and said, go get
and
money.
said, go sleep with the man and bring back money. And the police were tipped off. They didn't get there to prevent the abasement of the child or debasement of the child, but they got there in time to hold the adult who slept with the 12-year-old and the father who set it up. But there is a punishment for the nation, the land in which these things are permitted.
Yeah, in regards to it. So.
Yeah, we are at the 8:30 hour, and Ruth Lynn is already here, looking very cool in her gray and jeans. Yes, you're looking the part. Is that gray or khaki? We'll discover.
She's getting ready for the heavy lift this weekend.
And then we will be right back when our friends from JPS will show us how much they care.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Walton Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Crystal Clear and Sharp Vision. Ultra Clear is a total natural herbs formulated to activate the adult replacement stem cells in your body, sending them to the eyes to repair the damaged cells. Take 1 teaspoon daily in hot water and watch the improvement in your vision. To get yours, call Hafco Herbs, 876-540-8871. That's 540-8871 or WhatsApp 533-0462.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies. A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice.
Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society presents the 68th commemoration of the 1963 Coral Gardens atrocity against Rastafari. Bad Friday, Friday April 7th and Saturday April 8th at Jarrett Park, Montego Bay. Banquet for the elders and testimonies. 7 p.m. is showtime featuring DYCR, Rastakura, Ainify. Saturday another all-day panel discussion by Raga on the ganja industry. Showtime 8 p.m. featuring Bushman, Mikey General, Maki Conscious, Warrior King, Nature Ellis, Hezra, Historyman, Fredlock, Jaranx, Major Light, Iziniga, Rankin Pumpkin, Okonko, and more. All backed by the Irie Connection Band. Friday admission is $500. Saturday $1,000 at the gate. Jarrett Park, Friday April 7th and Saturday April 8th. Sponsored by Ministry of Culture, Entertainment and Sport and Brown's Laundry and
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best.
Good morning and welcome back. Yes, I have to put on my musical voice because I have competition in the room. Miss Ruthless.
Because the other voice is here, right?
The other voice is here. Yes, I have to make my voice musical and pleasing. So, you know, when I'm with Percival, I can just talk.
Right, but when you get the competition, you have to step up your game.
I
understand, and I totally agree.
Yes, and you really push me.
He's getting very worried. Like, where to get this lady from?
No, man, I gotta step up my game. And you push me now because, I mean, you are excellent at what you do.
Thank you.
I love the stories you tell when we're on break. I must try and get one on air.
We work at JPS. We have loads of exciting stories. Every day is a fantastic day.
Do a book.
And the stories.
We have loads of stories though.
Yeah,
like seriously.
You should do a book. You should.
You want to share one that day? Yeah.
Well, let me tell you the ones I love because Ruthlin works in customer service. And this being Holy Thursday, when Jesus washed the feet of his disciples, meaning those customers who are usually unlovable, you have to wash their feet.
Well, I can tell you a story about somebody who was praying, since we're talking about holy stuff.
Yes.
But there was a very unhappy customer who got down on her knees in the office. And she prayed for the company. JPS needs you need a washing, you need deliverance. And she was on her knees in the office in the middle of the hall.
Oh my God.
And she's calling on the Father to rescue this company. I mean, we're happy for the prayer.
So how long ago was that? Because I see some rescue.
No, this was probably about 4 months ago.
And look at that. But clearly,
of course, prayer always works.
But don't you see, they are right now in the holy season. doing a full network overhaul.
Yes.
Who is this blessed customer?
I don't remember her name, but yes, an elderly, a big woman, right? She was on her knees praying.
Let's pray.
You need to go down on your knees. It's not complete without some knee work.
Listen to me.
To shut her up.
No, you leave her alone. Jamaica is a country that respects prayer.
That's
so
true.
And
if she did it right, I know the rest of the people in the hall said amen.
The amen was resounding.
Even some of the workers.
Everybody. No, but seriously, I could tell you stories for days. They would crack you up. Some of them would shock you. But no pun intended. But really, though, we have a lot of stories based on what we serve the public with.
About the no, she said the consumers.
The consumers,
customers now.
Right.
Last time you were here,
we were
the consumers.
I could say that one on air, because we were putting in extending the grid in I won't call the name of the community, in a particular community, and while the men are working along the way to get the job done, we realized that when they were digging a hole and stuff, we saw that there was some wires and thing that came out from a particular point in the community that were there, ready and waiting to connect to our supply when we energized the line. Because they were ready.
These were consumers.
Consumers. They weren't going to be paying. No, they were coming to meet us to collect and serve themselves.
All right. So chances are those persons knew your schedule.
Yes. Well, they could see the men working.
So they're following up.
And we would have met with the community to tell them that we're going to regularize the community. But they would have decided, no, I'm not going to go regular. I'm just going to get yours.
When you're here, I'll consume.
When you're here, I'll just enjoy myself.
And they kept track of it, so they were there waiting for
and they were ahead of us.
Than your own men.
They were ahead of the game.
What is the moral of that story? It means that Jamaicans have the ability to move ahead of time,
but they just need to channel it in the right direction.
They didn't channel the cables in the right
direction. The energy and the ingenuity and the creativity just needs to be channeled in the right direction.
Oh my Lord. So it tells you that we have it.
Yeah.
All right. So you are now embarking. Today is D-Day.
Today is D-Day. Today is April 6th.
What time? Is that already?
12:59. I mean 11:59. Yes.
No.
Last night. For the 6th. So we started today.
Okay.
So customers who go to the office today will find that things may be a little bit slower than normal.
Oh, it will be only bun and cheese?
But you have free bun and cheese today in part of the Easter season.
No, they will say money connection.
Not so sure about that part. But we would love to give everybody a bun and cheese, though. If we could, it would be fabulous.
Yeah, but we are so please, no bun and cheese.
But we're upgrading our customer service platform. From time to time, companies need to upgrade because you want to, as we digitalize our services as well, we want to make sure that we're getting a platform now where everything can come together. So all the different applications can talk to each other, they can meet at a point, and they can serve our customers better. So we're upgrading the platform from what it is, and that starts today to the 12th of April. You realize that we would have kind of put some of the holiday in there to cut down on some of the challenges.
We were counting it off, Pastor Percy and I, that between the weekend days and the holidays.
Right. Yeah. So we're using this time.
Your period.
So there's less challenge for the customers, because by the time they come back, mangoes are falling from the tree. By the time they come back,
man. It's raining men.
Okay, fascinating.
Yes. It's raining men at the Ligani Club.
I think it's a stampede coming on here.
Yes, that could happen. Right. So we have put measures in place, though, to, as best as possible, ensure that we have a smooth transition. So we have another platform that we've put in place for a while, and that's where we're going to go eventually. So at this point in time, that platform will be able to merge nicely with this upgraded one.
Right.
So that is the one that we're going to be using to serve our customers right now.
But that sounds like it is a modern and efficient platform.
The one
you're gonna use
right
now.
But the only thing is that all the features are not yet up and running. When the upgrade is done, then you'll have everything now up and
operating
running.
as one. Because, you know, when you said you have another platform, I thought, is this like the Soldier Bridge that people put up during? Because I'm trying to make it relatable. But this is not the Soldier Bridge. This is the super highway, the Bailey Bridge. This is really your new platform that is not fully activated.
Right.
You're giving it a little.
We actually use it right now, you know. The two of them have been running. But to get them together, well, to get that
the data on the current one.
Right. So, and there are things that happen on the old one, the one that we're closing down completely. There are things that happened on that one that the one that we have running
The
parallel can't do.
Right.
So, for example, service orders, meaning you come in and you want supply. You put in your application. We've completed the application process. We do a service order that tells the field service technicians to go to Minett's house and do X. That is not functional right now.
Right.
So we are not able to do a service order. So which is why you won't be getting connected during this time. So new installations, connections.
So that process will remain a part of your system.
Definitely. Once everything comes back up.
Okay.
So new connections, that's if we should put a meter in, that's not going to happen during the 6th to the 12th. If you should get connected, meaning there's a meter already at the location, we just need to turn it on. That's not going to happen either because of one system could do one and one couldn't do one. Disconnections are not happening either. So that's a good thing. We're not disconnecting anybody because at this point in time, it wouldn't make sense to disconnect you for any reason, even for owing some money or so, because the platforms are not necessarily up and running just yet.
The platform wouldn't even know.
It probably doesn't know.
Well,
so there's no disconnection that's going to happen. If you want an investigation done, you want field service technicians to come out and look at your meter, to check your house or whatever, that's not going to happen either because the service orders are not going to be generated for you to be able to, for the field service team to be able to go out and do anything.
That they need to go somewhere.
So customers will have a challenge.
On holiday.
No, they have a lot of backlog stuff that they need to go and do. Because remember, when they go out to your premises, they need to write their reports and stuff. So some of those things don't happen quickly because they're continuously working. So they can now go and do all the reports, put them on the system so that when I go to find out what the investigation revealed from the visit to your premises, I can now find it when we're back online.
Okay. It's not a holiday, really.
Not a holiday.
People are working.
GPS don't have holidays. We don't have holidays. We're a 24-hour essential service.
You don't want me to say anything about that.
Do not say anything about anything.
It's good though to know that the policy is still there, recognizing that you are a 24-hour.
We are, and anybody who does not recognize that and does not operate with that sensibility or sensitivity is in breach of the philosophy of the company.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Payments will not be updated to your accounts within the 6th to the 12th. Meaning you made your payment and you're saying, I'm on the app and I'm not seeing my money updated. It looks like I still owe. It's okay.
So will there be a message on the app?
There should be one already. No, it says something about during the 6th to the 12th. It should see something. You're saying it?
Yes, your message.
Right.
Look at mine. Come let it download it too.
All right. We're proving that Miss Ruthlin is
I'm hearing one voice saying yes, it's there. Yes, their message is there.
Percy's checking right now.
Reconnections are essential. So even though we're not disconnecting, if for whatever reason somebody is disconnected, they were disconnected from, say, early March, because sometimes people are disconnected and they wait a while to come back on because they don't have the money to pay or something. Right. If you need to be reconnected, we're going to get that done for you. Manually, if needs be, we're going to find a way to get you reconnected because you have to be reconnected if you need to be reconnected.
And the essential services, your what is it? Your tier 1 customers, the hospitals, the police stations.
We have to keep them
online.
Those
are always
right. And then the generation of bills will also be delayed for some cycles. Cycles 1 to 14. That would mean the cycles that would be due during the early part of the month. They're not going to get their bills on time. They're going to get their bills about 6 days late, but we're going to give them an extension. So the due date is going to be extended for payment as well. So it's not like we're going to give you the bill later and then tell you that you must pay 2 days later.
And pause due tomorrow.
Right. So those are some of the things that customers are going to they're going to experience. And when you go to the office, it might be a little bit slow because we're going to be working on the other platform.
Yeah.
And they may be annoyed because some things can't be done.
Right.
And so we may say to you, okay, fine, I'm taking your report. I'm taking your application. I'm going to process it. So you'll get your account number, but we won't be able to connect you until, I know some people are going to be, we may get some more prayer. We may get some more prayer.
Well, you know what?
Because we have this last minute mentality in Jamaica, or maybe I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know for us we do, where person is moving into house tomorrow
and come for the
they
supply.
come for supply today, or some moving in later this evening and they come this morning. I must confess, when I was a student in England,
yes, you did.
We had that kind of that service existed, but we're not there yet. If you have a smart meter, yes, we can bring it as close as possible to that, where we can set up your account and turn on that meter same time. So we've had some people experiencing that, but it's not the norm, especially if a meter needs to be installed. It's not going to happen in one day. We have a list of people waiting. Yours can happen today. And then they're saying, but I'm moving this evening. I want power this evening.
And she's very dramatic.
That's how they are, though.
Yes. It's wonderful to hear that we still have the capacity to be demanding and audacious.
Minett,
we pray for
JPS customers.
Every Wednesday,
JPS customers are the most audacious I've ever met.
Goodness.
And they tell you anything that comes to their mind, because what we provide is so integral. It creates a lot of passion.
Yeah, but you know, but what I want is, what I'm thinking though, is that is somewhere that JPS is going, that you get, you ask for the service, you get it.
We're gonna get there, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going to get there. We're going to get, and as I said, if you have if there's a smart meter at your location already, and you come for a service, you can get that meter can be turned on. It's already there, but a new meter to be installed means
unless you carry
a technician
in your handbag and go install it.
And you're not supposed to. Just and a point to note, and let me look in the camera. Do not take down the meter when you're moving and take it to the next location. Yes, they do. They say it's their meter. They paid for it. The $6,000 deposit. They think
they bought.
Yes. Do not take the meter when you're moving from one house to the next. Don't take down the meter and move with it to the next location. The meter should stay there, and when you go to the other location, the meter that's there becomes your meter. It's not. Don't take down the meter and move with it. Some actually take it to the office. They come and say, "Okay, I move. Here's the meter from the location where I move," and we're like. Yeah.
No, and they're being very helpful.
They're being very helpful, but we have to keep reminding them, don't take it out. Leave it right there.
This is a new one to me. I mean, I said it tongue in cheek, but I didn't know you're actually having
Yes, they take them, they move with them. They say it's mine, so they move with it.
So not for the meter.
No, the deposit is it's just this meter. We're asking you to take care of it for us while we use it to collect our data to put to generate your bills.
That's the physical embodiment of the covenant. But it's not like a gas bottle or the cylinder. It's not like a gas cylinder.
The meter should stay there, because when I move and you come to this house, you set up a new account and this meter becomes your meter, and you get the meter at the next location. Wow. So you're not supposed to take it down.
So what happened when they come and take out your meter?
Because
when JPS comes and takes it out, then we can come and put it back in, because we're taking it out for a particular reason. That's not working, or maybe you have just not paid any bills for maybe a year or so, and we're saying, okay, fine.
Before they take out the meter, I'm just gonna.
There's no rule really. There's a time when we had a 3 month, but we don't have that anymore, because we realize that people actually go away overseas for extended periods. But after about a year, if there's no usage on a meter or payments, we're going to take it out, because it's exposed. Because people steal meters, you know.
Oh, people steal meters?
Yes. Somebody will do the meter. They use it for fake.
To put it on their
to fake that to fake that they're legal. So when I pass and look, I see a meter there.
Oh wow!
But it's not being used.
We are one of the most creative.
And I hope I'm not giving anybody any ideas. No.
No. But it's been done already.
Yeah, but then, yeah. You realize you see how JPS full of stories. Lots of exciting things happen. Yeah, in a plastic bag, and they're saying I have to bring it back. It's mainly older folk who do that, though. The younger people don't do that. The older persons, they're protecting the company's asset and they take it back, and we say thank you. We say thank you, and we tell them that you're really
Next
not.
time you're moving, do not touch the meter.
Do not trouble the meter.
Yeah. No, the service terminated, so don't put it in the fridge. All right.
So just to remind the customers again, there's going to be a challenging period during the 6th to the 12th. Some services might be limited. Some services might be limited. There's a notification on the app. Thank you. Beautiful. Notification is on the app. We've been running ads on TV. We've been sending out emails to those persons. We have their addresses, email addresses. We've been sending text messages. We've been trying to find a number of ways. There's standees at the office, posters on the door. We're trying to find a number of ways to let persons know. We know, though, that you still will find that. I always said that 15% who did not hear.
15%? So high?
For me, as a communicator, I found that no matter how much you saturate a market with information, you'll find like about 15% of people who just don't know. There are people who don't listen to radio, don't watch TV, don't have no mobile connection, no online this, no that, no app, no whatever, and they just don't know.
The consumers know, though.
They usually know everything. They keep themselves up to date. The consumers sometimes know when there's going to be a planned outage, and they call to say, but what do you expect me to do? And when you say, what's your account? Let me look at it. And then the line goes dead.
Oh my God! Consumers.
They're not customers. They just consume. They just consume. But they'll call. They'll call to complain about the power outage that's going to be.
The neighbor don't have any light.
Listen, no, not the neighbor. Me don't have any. But when you ask them for their account number, then they disappear.
Yes.
Because remember, they're entitled, you know. They feel they have a right to this thing.
So Jamaica, be patient with us. We're moving towards free electricity. You see, when we tap into the Earth's core and release.
I don't know where Minett is going. For some people. You know, when we go to some communities where we're regularizing, people will tell you that they honestly did not know that you pay for it. I've had somebody who told me her mother she never saw her mother pay for it. Her grandmother never paid for it. And she just thought her community was one where it was for free.
It was free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shocking again. I'm giving you too many shocking.
But see, earlier, before you came, we were talking about not being able to teach people what you don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds like an obvious, sounds oxymoronic.
Right, but if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah,
that blows my mind.
It's
so 3 generations
of people who've never paid for electricity.
Her mother know her,
and she's saying,
light come with the house.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe worst case you think, okay, I pay somebody $10 for my rent. It cover everything.
They probably think so. Yeah. It's just there. It's a commodity. You came and saw it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you just continued on with life.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, water.
And so we're regularizing them.
Like that too,
yeah, it's true.
Because we know that water falls from the sky, and we know that JPS don't actually make electricity.
Yeah. Somehow it gets made.
Somehow it comes out of the other end of the pan.
It comes out of the ground waiting to collect it.
No, because like,
I think that one is the best one.
Come out of the sea. Just run a wire through the sea and let it plug in, something will happen.
It's crazy though.
They don't think of the plant and the fuel and
no, they don't.
Things,
and they just think that they're entitled to it. It's just something that they should have.
It's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
If you
or sunshine
or sunshine in a bottle.
Sunshine in a bottle.
I use it to power your stove and your fridge.
Right.
All right.
Do we have time to talk about the mobile app? All right. So we needed to, along with telling customers about the.
Lowell tells us we don't.
Okay. All right. I wanted to share 2 other things that you can do on the mobile app that are exciting things that you don't have to go to an office to stand in a line to do, and that is to query an early payment incentive or the late payment fee. Now, you know, a lot of persons pay their bills, especially the older folk. They pay their bills on time because they want their $250, right? Their early payment incentive. Now, if you pay and you didn't get it for whatever reason, because things do happen.
$500?
No, Minett, it's $250.
US dollars?
I feel like the forces are coming against me right now. Pastor, can you say a prayer, please?
$250, Jamaican dollars.
$250. Right? Now, if you paid your bill on time, because things can happen, you paid it, the platform went down just at the point when you made the payment, or Bill Express didn't send it over, or something happened, and you didn't see your payment. You want to query it. You go on the app if you have the app, right?
Yeah.
You select customer support, then you select account query, and you're going to see a drop down with a list of things. Among that list, you will see early payment incentives / late payment fee. You touch on that button, and it will take you to a point where you can then just fill in the information. This is probably going to ask you the date when you made the payment and how much you paid. And point to note as well, you need to take a picture of the receipt and have it ready. Again, just like last time, because it's going to ask you now to upload the receipt, and you upload the receipt, and in the background, somebody will find it, and the magic will happen, and we will apply it to your account.
So the late payment fee and the early payment incentive, same amount, is it?
The late payment fee is $250, but the government asked us to put a GCT on that one. So the late payment fee is $250 plus GCT.
So you're
the government consumption tax. Let me just add that so you know it's not ours, that piece. We give $250, we take back $250. But for the late payment fee, the government asked us to put a tax on that.
Pay late because they never have money to pay on time.
They pay tax. It's 300 and something because it's $250 plus tax.
We need a higher level of advocacy in this country.
Yes.
Because a late payment fee should be some kind of estimation of what it costs you by reason of people not paying you on time.
And the government tax.
The late payment fee has a tax on it.
So when you pay early, you pay.
They don't. There's no tax on that. Remember, it's our thing. Where right. So we gave you $250 and we charged $250, and they decided that they wanted to put some taxes on the late payment fee.
Isn't that unconscionable?
Yes. So Minett, you can run the advocacy on that one.
Really?
No, they get what, 16.5? 15% of the $250 for the late payment fee. Right, so your late payment fee is about something like $349, something like that, because of the tax on it.
The principle of it is what is just offensive. And so it is the persons who couldn't pay on time.
Yes.
They get a late tax.
Get taxed. So you don't have the money. That's why scripture say the one who have little, even that little will be taken away.
It's so unfortunate. What's the other thing you want to tell us about?
The other thing we want to talk about is how to report a damaged meter.
Yes.
If your meter gets damaged for whatever reason, you're walking by with something, it banged on it, or children in the community playing, because that's the one that happens a lot. They throw something and it breaks the glass. If your meter gets damaged, you can also make a report and we'll come and change it. Same thing, you go to customer support, go to account query again, and you will see in the drop down, I think it's at the bottom, you'll see the information about meter, reporting a damaged meter. We're going to ask you to take a picture of the damaged meter, because at that point it's going to ask you to upload a picture of the meter so they can see exactly what has happened to it.
So all this assumes you have internet, you have a digital phone, a phone that is capable of doing.
Or you have a neighbor or a grandchild who has access to this.
No, digital.
The thing is, it can be done in other ways, But
if you're doing it on the app.
But it's quicker if you do it on the app. So you select you give us the information, the account number, the address, and everything, and we'll come and change your meter. Those are two things that can be.
Time frame is this?
I think by the OER standards, we have 20 days to change your damaged meter once it's reported.
So the meter glass is not bulletproof?
No.
I'm only asking that as we take it.
Remember that April 6th
to 12.
You are break, you can
JPS is doing.
We're doing an upgrade, and things might get a little bit challenging for customers.
Bun and cheese at the office.
She's going to send us some to give to the customers.
Always a pleasure, Miss Ruth.
Thank you for having me again.
You managed to make JPS
an exciting
relationship exciting. Yeah, but thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, and a blessed and holy Easter to you.
The very same to you. Make sure you wash your customers' feet today.
Will do.
The 5% that comes in to the office.
All right.
Have a holy Easter. All right, it's time for the break, and when we come back, I see the coaches in the house looking the part. One side of him look victorious, and the other side looks like Calabar. It's for the listeners. All right, when we come back.
I've been using the app.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. You're simply the best.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City, this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Bess100 FM. Don't you miss it?
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, senior.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling him, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
That no sound healthy at all. Get healthy, my friends. Stay balanced. Tune into this station, Bess FM-100, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock to 9, for this wonderful program, Your Health Today, with me, Dr. Clarion Palmer. Yes, get healthy, get healthy, get healthy. Stay balanced. Bess FM-100, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, with me, Dr. P. Get healthy.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Yes, Jamaica and the world. You want us back? We are back. The Breakthrough Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Bess100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Bess100 FM, 100.1, 357 and 9. Come on out. out. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Bess100 FM, Bess100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it.
Ready for the warfare. Ready for the warfare.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them.
Welcome back. We are in the last lap. Yeah, I'm using sport references.
That's a new thing for you, isn't it? We say turn the road, turn in the home stretch for home.
Yeah, because you're a gambling man.
Oh, Lord.
Horse racing. So he's in the home stretch. Yeah, we're doing the last lap, and we're very pleased to welcome at the table with us none other than Coach Corey Bennett. Now we should have drum rolls, but we'll work on that for your second visit.
Yes, right.
Welcome, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you are exuding the right mix of humility and modesty and restraint. So I celebrate with you, the Heidel victory.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
And I commiserate with you for the Calabar near victory. He's right there. I mean, so the first thing I want to know is, how do you raise one hand in high chair and the other hand saying, never mind, next year?
You have to look at the goals that we've set.
Yes.
And we are very goal oriented. And I believe that at Calabar, our aim was to achieve a certain amount of gold medals. We fell a few short of that. We wanted the team to be a lot more competitive, and I think we achieved that. And I just want to point out to yourself and the listeners that I believe, and most persons believe, we had a good season. We never had the best championship, and that's 5 days. So we want to separate both. But I thought we had a fairly good season. We just need to wheel and come again for the championship.
Yes, and you're heading off. I mean, Percy told me is it Penn Relays?
Penn Relays is the end of April, you know, and God's willing we'll get there.
The season continues.
Continues, and even beyond that, but yeah, continues.
So are you teaching your young folks that you learn more from failure than from success, however you define?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I ask a question, I've told person that I've failed more than I've had success. And you know, it just depends on how you define success. You know, and
even how you define failure.
How you define failure.
Because the person who win the championship may have failed on a thing or two.
Yeah. But yeah, it just comes down to what your definitions are. And again, that's why I thought the Calabar boys had a successful season. We may not have had a successful championship. But we're still thankful that
we have lost the battle, but
yeah, we'll be back. I mean, there are a lot of things to fix. And I know that the boys fully understand me now, and I am getting to understand them still. But yeah, we'll be back.
You know, Corey, you are following on the heels of one of the most successful track and field coaches at the schoolboy level, which was Michael Clark. And Minett has declared my hand that I'm an old boy, I'm still a mentor, I'm still involved in the school. How was that for you? In terms of from Michael Clark, one of the most successful coaches at high school, JC, Jago, Calabar.
Don't set the bar too high.
Yeah, I mean the bar is already set too high. And it'll be foolhardy to think you can even come close to those accomplishments. I mean,
In
Michael
one
Clark,
season.
yeah, in any seasons that you get together. I mean, that was just unreal. And Michael Clark is a coach par excellence in terms of what he achieved, even on and off the track. I mean, he's one of the persons I look up to as a coach. And
Did you work with him?
Never.
Were you understudying him?
No, never.
So you took over from Calabar, not having
Yeah.
spent time.
But we've had some interesting conversations before the thought of me going to Calabar ever existed, and he shared some stuff with me that I believe is useful going forward. But no, I can never even think of that. I just have to do Corey Bennett and the way I think it can be done.
Well, I'm kind of liking Corey Bennett.
I don't know.
Corey Bennett demonstrates the kind of restraint that I think speaks to a submitted mind. You seem generally conscious that there is more you don't know than what you already know, and you're on a quest.
Yeah, I mean, every year I try to be better than my previous best.
Yeah.
And I'm always in search of being better. I've never settled at doing things good. I always try to be better.
I need to know now, because we've been talking about the role of women, the mothering, and how do you train the next generation of men and women to be better than yourself. How are you managing?
It first of all starts with my sons. I have two sons who I made a promise to myself and to my family that I want them to be better than I ever was. And it starts with accepting the fact that you want a person to be better than you. You know, and unless you can accept that, then you'll never give of yourself in the right way to help persons around you to be better. I mean, they must be better than I am.
Which means you've got to confront your own weaknesses.
Yeah, and I'm good with that. You know, I'm okay with that. I just want them to be better than I could ever be. And I want the same thing for my girls. I want the same thing for my boys.
So you have girls as well?
No, that's the girls' team. I call them my girls. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have two sons.
Yeah.
But you have all these girls.
All these girls. Yeah. I know I have all these boys at Calabar.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I just want them to be the best version of themselves, and I feel their pain when they feel pain.
What you're doing, being able to coach an all-girl team from a different school, and the boys.
I mean, last year this time.
You're unique.
I don't know if I am, but last year this time it wasn't an option. I never thought of doing this, and
last year this time, which team you had?
Heidel. Just Heidel. Yeah. So I just never thought that. This never came across my mind at all, to be honest.
I suspect, and we could check it out, Percy, you're in a unique position, which means now that there are some goals that you would be. I see you're a goal-setting kind of guy. There are some goals that you're pursuing, being in this position. You want to share any of it without tipping off the competition?
I mean, you know, what is true is that I still maintain that I just want the boys to be the best versions of themselves. I want all boys to get a chance to get a scholarship to go to college. I want these boys to react like Kamani Gordon did in the heat of battle, you know, as a gentleman. I want them to carry the Calabar flag very high, and when they move on past Calabar, they should be known for what they achieved at Calabar, both in and out of the classroom. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that you have introduced
Kamani.
Kamani Gordon.
Yeah.
How old is young Mr. Gordon?
Kamani is 16.
16 years old. And what class, what division?
Class 2.
Class 2.
Yeah.
A sprinter.
Yeah.
So all the energy and the fire and the...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the adrenaline was pumping at the 200 meters.
100. Well, you know, I didn't come inside as a runner back. And so we saw the race and we saw the mishap in the race. And I saw just from my angle that he was pushing past his competition. There might have been a meeting of hands or arms.
Yes,
I can't confirm that. And then he just kind of lost his balance and went over into the Calabar young man, the Casey young man's lane. In order not to trip the Casey young man and not trip himself, he kind of stuck his arm out to prevent some space, which is a natural reaction. After the event, well, I didn't see this until a day or two later.
The event? Did either of
Another
you?
Calabar boy.
Yes, but not the one
No,
in the...
no. It's unfortunate they're not focusing on the winner of the event. You know, there's some distractions in the event. But after the event, the Casey young man, out of frustration, I would believe, kind of shoved him.
Yeah,
I'm trying to not use the word attack, but shoved him.
Yeah.
Which I could accept, to be honest. I could accept that reaction
At
just
the
out
end,
of frustration.
yes.
But to see him sit down and get back up and attack him from behind,
That no was an attack.
that to me, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm really again must go on here and publicly congratulate Kamani for his discipline and ability to not react to that.
So what brought you here this morning is Pastor Percival commenting, because we've been speaking about the battlefield of the mind, that in this time persons are going to be reacting to being disrespected, frustration, feeling like, you know, you are entitled or you've been disentitled. And it's what's the perception, is what's going on in your head that's driving the reactions. So we were talking about the different strategies that have to be employed to settle the mind. So what appears as an offense is easily, you know, recategorized into something else that allows you to maintain your dignity and do the right thing. And Percy said, Coach Corey, who is responsible for preparing the young men up to the time of that particular incident. So we were all curious, what is Coach Corey pouring into the water?
What is in the water? Calabar water in the water.
We wanted to get a sense of how you are preparing them to even anticipate at some level of what are you doing?
You know,
that others could say, you know what, let me try that.
You know, I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. What I know is that I have to control their reading of social media a lot. Even my own son is very reactive to negative comments on social media. I slept, and I was saying to you up to last night, hey, listen.
How old is your son?
My son is 18. He competed at Boys Champs as well. Decathlon.
Right, so that's a young man, a young adult.
So I have to be telling him, hey, listen, just don't respond to those negative comments on social media. Just ignore it, you know. And then he'd show me some, and I'd go, take a deep breath, and like, yeah, I understand it hurts, but just ignore it. Because these are persons who don't understand what we're all about, you know. So you hear all kind of negative things, even from the Heidel side and the Calabar side, and even from the personal side, that you really have to just take a deep breath, count to 10, back ways, and just exhale, you know.
So you're helping them to weed out the irrelevances. Because really what a stranger says on social media should not even shift the needle on your meter.
No, not in my mature self. Probably in my former self it would have, but no, not anymore, no.
But I tell you, what a stranger says on social media doesn't even cross the threshold for me.
Yeah, and that's for
honestly,
us, you
know. Even what my friend or my family member says, depending on who it is, don't cross the threshold. that comes from a place of feeling very confident in who you are. And these young people, what are you seeing? How confident are they about who they are?
I mean, some are, some still have quite a way to go. I believe that we pray before we train.
You pray before you train?
Yeah, the team, the Calabar has a devotion before the train. And we've just galvanized them through.
Is that something you introduced, or that was a habit that you came and found them in this? Did they say to you, Coach, we need to pray, we forgot to pray?
I don't know, but it's something that I know. I don't know. It might have existed, but that's something that we have asked to happen.
Yeah.
Calabar is a Baptist school and it's built on strong Christian values.
Yeah.
And Heidel also, through its president, Mrs. Hyacinth Bennett, is a strong Christian.
Any relative of yours? Mrs. Hyacinth Bennett?
I think so. I've heard that. I've heard that. Yeah.
You've
so
heard that.
yeah.
She brought you home from the hospital.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know. Might have been a lost child. But yeah, I mean, she's a staunch Christian. You know, her brother, who's my uncle, owns Haven Hill Baptist Church, where we grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those values are coming from childhood.
Oh yeah. I mean,
They don't die easily.
No, I mean, I've seen it die in some of my relatives, but no, it don't die so easily.
It doesn't die easily. How are you? How do you relate to the boys? Do they respect the authority, and are you finding them irredeemable or intransigent?
No, I mean, to be honest,
some of the words.
I mean,
violence produces.
Yeah, I think initially some were resistant to my discipline.
Your discipline?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my way of going about doing things.
Can you speak to them as calmly as you're speaking to us?
At times.
At times. Yeah, but
sometimes I get a little bit more, aggressive and sometimes louder. But they have to understand who's in charge. And whenever those lines get blurred, we're going to have a problem. And I think that they are used to operating in some level of chaos.
Yeah.
But I can't operate in chaos. And I think...
And when you say chaos, you're referring to personal life, home life, school life?
Just everything mulled together. Yeah. I mean, and if I might share a story of a young man, when I just got to Calabar, I was told that he is the worst boy you could ever come across and they need to get rid of him. And I've had to suspend him at least twice from the team.
Yeah.
But I've seen this young man turn around and make a 200-meter finals, which was never ever an event that he thought he could have done in Class 1.
You pulled it out of him.
Yeah, I mean, he just started to conform and believe. And right now, he's a young man who I look forward to coaching again next year. Yeah, so it can happen, it can happen.
Before you came, I had said to Percival, if those of us who are intercessors and the change agents do our job, then the hand of God will move the hearts of the ones that we say are irredeemable or, we need to get rid of this one.
Yeah.
And here you are, the first story of Offered makes that point.
Yeah.
We know it's the heart of love and honor and respect that can begin to introduce that change. Are you having an impact or even coaching them on things that have to do with relationship, in their home situation, how to resolve conflicts that don't arise in the, coaching session? Are they coming to you with issues that...
So even up to yesterday, and this is after champs, and there was an incident that I learned that took place between one of my young men and a young lady from another school. And, I ordered the young man to make sure that I get a letter of an apology so I can hand it to the principal or he'll no longer be a part of the team. So I believe that you're not going to be on my team or you're going to be known as an abuser of women. You're not going to be on my team or you're going to be known to give problems in school.
Yeah.
And thankfully the principal said to me the other day that the teachers are saying that they're pleased with how the Calabar athletes are behaving now. They're a lot more disciplined. And of course, we have a far way to go. You know, there's a far way to go, and there's a lot of things that I think need to be corrected. But to know that at least it's moving in the right direction. And I'm not going to stand, you know, like, and I hate to go back to the incident, but if that were a Calabar young man who inflicted that abuse on another young man, I would have pulled him from the team. Yeah.
You would have pulled him from the team because you know it has generated a lot of
discussion.
Discussion in terms of, because so you're following it. Race finishes, the points are scored. Then you hear Kamani is disqualified. Then you hear the young man from KC is disqualified. Then you hear the young man from KC has been disqualified from participating in the Ressa Championship because of his unsportsmanlike conduct. I saw the first incident in terms of the shot, but I didn't know that he got up off the ground.
I didn't know either.
I didn't know. Somebody said,
when I saw the video,
The second one was premeditated.
And I'm saying, okay. And then we saw the principal of Kingston College speaking about the incident, but not like, oh, that's just one of the things. But then I'm on social media and I see this other person is doing, you can see Spirit Casey. And he said, no man, he won win the championship, but it cannot be on a technicality that this young man is allowed to participate. He says, what is the message that we are sending to our young people in terms of discipline? And he said, no man, them wrong.
So isn't it refreshing then that both in the public discussion and the school discussion, all roads are moving in favor of imposed discipline, hold people accountable. It's not win at all costs. This is what I'm hearing. So we're on the same page.
And the truth is that I know the Casey principal very well. We worked together at Wolmer's, Mr. Dave Murray, and I know he was not a part of this because I know he's a stickler for discipline.
Yeah, man.
You know, I know him pretty well and I know what he stands for, and this might have gone outside of his hands because I know what he stands for, and I believe it should be.
To be clear, Casey took the right steps. Are we in agreement? You said you would have pulled if it was one of your athletes. You'd have pulled them from the rest. They did not?
They did not pull him.
I thought you just said he was pulled from the rest.
No, they disqualified him, but they reinstated him on a technicality because they said he was a part of the relay team in the 4x1 class 2. They participated in championship afterwards.
So is it that the competition does not have rules that govern the treatment of a disqualified member? What do you have a backup that you can put in play if a member is disqualified? What is the position?
I mean, the IWF rule speaks to unsportsmanlike behavior.
Yes.
And it says governed by the IWF rules.
Right.
So it was clear.
So those rules. So he would be pulled. But what of the team events? Where he is.
No, I mean each team, each really have X amount of members that can go in and go
in. So they could have used someone else.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what we need to know, because even as others with a financial interest in the event said, if the rules are not such that a brand that stands for a certain level of behavior can be associated with it, we would withdraw financial support. What I know, I think would be, and I'm just putting it to you now, what would be unconscionable is if a member of the team who is under discipline, that person's absence would frustrate the hopes, the training, the possibilities for the other team members in the team event who played no part in the disgraceful conduct. I would think that the rules need to be such that the rest of the team would have an opportunity to continue their event.
Yeah, but just before you go, I said I'm a parent, Calabar. 1 year after.
We got the signal for the break.
No time for
yes.
Come back.
You have to keep your war story for when we return.
best.
Half a tree. 180, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Hey everybody, Apostle Prophetess Dr. Juliet Fagan here. I've got some good news for you. Many of you have asked and God has delivered. Guess what? Join me this and every Sunday. That's right, this and every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Catch me right here on Bess100 FM. That's right. On Friend of a Wounded Heart, an extension of Vision Miracle Church of God. And so on behalf of Bishop Leroy and myself and all the brethren of Vision Miracle Church of God, I'm looking forward to having you Sundays, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. right here on Bess FM 100.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Walton Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Crystal Clear and Sharp Vision. Ultra Clear is a total natural herbs formulated to activate the adult replacement stem cells in your body, sending them to the eyes to repair the damaged cells. Take 1 teaspoon daily in hot water and watch the improvement in your vision. To get yours, call Hafco Herbs, 876-540-8871. That's 540-8871 or WhatsApp 533-0463.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies. A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society presents the 68th commemoration of the 1963 Coral Gardens atrocity against Rastafari. Bad Friday, Friday April 7th and Saturday April 8th at Jarrett Park, Montego Bay. Banquet for the elders and testimonies. 7 p.m. is showtime, featuring DYCR, Rastakura, Ainify. Saturday another all-day panel discussion by Raga on the ganja industry. Showtime 8 p.m. featuring Bushman, Mikey General, Maki Conscious, Warrior King, Nature Ellis, Ezra, Historyman, Fredlock, Jaranx, Major Light, Iziniga, Rankin Pumpkin, Okonko, and more. All backed by the Irie Connection Band. Friday admission is $500. Saturday, $1,000 at the gate. Jarrett Park, Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th. Sponsored by Ministry of Culture, Entertainment and Sports and Brown's Laundry and
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Bess FM.
To another female artist.
Well, no, I don't think he said the young man was abusive. Let me just clear that up. He did not speak of any young man abusing a female
What did he
athlete.
say?
He says an athlete cannot be on his team. I'm covering for you now. Can't be on my team if you're abusive to women, if you're disrespectful in the classroom, if there are some conditions.
But there's an incident that happened.
Yeah, there's an incident that took place regarding a young lady from another school.
Yeah.
And he is mandated to pen a letter of an apology that I would want to give to the young lady by today and to the school. And
So
if
the
not,
clock is ticking
yeah,
on
if
that
not,
one.
he'll no longer be a part of Calabar's team.
Yes.
Disciplinarian. I love it.
Well, sometimes we use the word disciplinarian as if it's a bad thing.
Not a bad thing, but he has relationship
Maintain
with the young
standards.
guys.
Maintain standards. I said, because we spoke a lot about, well, not a lot, and not we, but Percy spoke about Michael Clark.
Yeah.
Michael Clark, now retired from Calabar's team. And I said, yeah, there'll be a day when persons will say, we know about Michael Clark, but did you hear about Corey Bennett, who coached female team in a school across town, male team in another school, not using the same facilities, moving between the two, and accomplishing some transformative things in the lives of the young men. And because you don't know I'm prophetic, you smile. But when that day comes, there's something I'd like persons to remember about you. But it has to come in your own voice and words. We spoke about what it is that the coaches do and who carries the burden of making the change. It's like a trick question.
Yeah, it seems like a trick question.
But you know the answer.
I'm not even sure if I know the answer. But
Well, you know, we were talking about the young men having to function together.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, do coaches get together and seek to be at one on the principles, the protocols, the conduct side of things? And
I mean, it's sometimes best to have the discussions outside of a championship.
Absolutely.
Because during championship, the rivalries get even higher and even more fierce. But I strongly believe that all coaches, if not most coaches, want to see peace reign amongst our athletes and our students. And I refer to the Jamaica Carpet team who's now in training, our preparation to leave tomorrow to go to the Bahamas, where the same young man, Commander Gordon, is a part of that team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he'll have to be teaming up with some Kingston
Yes,
College young men on a relay team here and there, and may have to be rooming with one or two. So, I mean, my experience tells me that, listen, the adults are the ones making a big deal out of it. The boys are good. And I've seen boys and girls exchange their jerseys at these international meets,
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
and they're good. You know, we're the ones who are making more out of something. Yeah. So, as long as we guide them continuously and guide them the right way, I think they're good.
I will set examples because in my experience, I remember 1 year after championship, something happened at Calabar.
So you were the coach?
No, I wasn't the coach. I was actually the president of the P team. And it was the state, so they were making chants about who KC were. and it went viral on social media, and we had to go. I said, no, this is not acceptable at all. We are not a part of it. So as the president of Calabar at that point in time, I took a team of parents and students down to Calabar, down to Kingston College, to their PTA meeting where we apologized to them first, and then they came to Calabar and we apologized to them in front of our PTA and said, that is not what we represent. So it is something as if we have to lead as adults. We must lead as adults. We set the example as adults. We are saying to them, that is not acceptable at all.
So not the young men we're raising.
Our young ladies.
Our young ladies.
Yes, it's important.
Yeah.
But Coach, you also spoke to the transition to what you're doing there, and you're setting your standard, you're goal-driven. You made a very important point to the young men that at the end of it, you're not only an athlete, but there are other aspects to your life, and so you're preparing them for the real world.
Yeah, for the next stage, next chapter. We all have to remember that your book is not finished at Calabar or Heidel. It continues. It's just another chapter that has been closed, and there's so much more outside of the high school life that needs to now set you up for the next level, and the next level is where it really matters. So you really have to be setting up yourself each time for the next stage. And if you don't, you must leave Calabar or Heidel or any other school at some point in your life. You can always be associated with the school, but you're no longer a student there.
Yeah, and for those who are not going to be professional athletes,
you should get
a whole new life beginning.
Yeah, and I always tell the athletes that, listen, you've invested so much time in preparing for the sport that the sport should also prepare you through a college scholarship to get your life all sorted out to move on.
You coach both boys and girls, and you came to a conclusion as to how to get the most out of each. First, I want you to repeat the conclusion if you dare.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear. I mean, my belief is that, as much as I think the both teams support each other because of the common factor involved, I believe that they cannot train together. They must not be housed together. They should not.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, they should not even be under the same tent together because of the natural distraction that each other poses to the other.
At that age.
Yeah, I mean, girls will always be attracted to boys and vice versa. And boys definitely will be attracted to girls. So, we have to make sure that we eliminate or we minimize as much as possible that factor. And it has obviously worked, at least for the Heidel girls, and I'm sure it has worked for the Calabar boys as well.
Yes, because they certainly performed.
Yeah.
I went to an all-girls school.
I went to all-boys school.
I went to all-boys school.
Yeah.
You understand?
I really, you don't miss what you don't know. But I hear you speak of the distraction. We always have the debate about co-educational facilities. But you said to me, I'll repeat it because I noticed you didn't. You get better performance out of each by keeping them apart.
Yeah, and that's a fact. I mean, the irony of it is that an all-girls school have not won champs in a long time. So that's the irony of it.
When was the last time before?
It might have been probably Queens, maybe years ago. Queens might have, yeah. But I mean, generally, if you think about it, the champions for the last couple of decades have come from co-ed schools.
So you did say the irony of it.
Yeah, the irony of it.
You're saying the better performance.
Yeah. I think they're good with the persons that they train with at the school. They're cutting classes together and stuff. Yeah. But to have that external factor to be alongside, that's going to pose some newness and some discomfort. Yeah.
Well, perhaps it's your strategy, but you certainly got the best out of your young ladies.
Yeah.
Or it's the coach factor, which is never to be discounted. Leadership is something that we spend a lot of time talking about leadership and governance.
It's God's
it is
timing.
As important
It's
in
God's timing.
God's
God's timing.
timing.
It's God's timing.
There's a chair that you have incorporated. I want to repeat.
I think you should let Percy sing it.
I don't know the chair.
It's not even a song. I mean, it's something that is a known, chant somewhat. I mean, and again, I hail Sir Bertis Bell for teaching us this from my days of football. I just says, righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach unto any people.
You have to chant it, That
no, that's
like you're saying.
I'll leave it at that. And it's just either for Calabar or Heidel to be truly great, put God first and move forward in faith.
Put God first, move forward in faith.
Yeah. And you either chant Calabar or Heidel a couple of times after that. But it's really, the really thing is to put God first.
So that's a part of the chant. Put God first.
Yeah, put God
first. So you say all of it. Righteousness exalteth a nation.
But sin is a reproach unto any people. For Calabar or Heidel to be truly great.
To be truly great.
Yeah, not just great, but be truly great. Put God first.
Put God first.
And move forward in faith.
Heidel.
Yeah.
Oh, and move forward in faith.
Yeah.
We'll teach Percy the chant.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the rhythm of it. That's a long chant. It's like a whole Sunday school.
But a very useful chant.
And very useful.
Yeah, we pray before every event.
Yeah.
No matter if it's a heats or semis or a final, it's expected and boys and girls come for it. If we in busy they say, sir, I'm going to know, are we going to do the prayer? So yeah, it's a known thing for us.
Yeah. Wow. All right, that's a real high note on which to wrap up the conversation.
Yeah.
With Coach Corey, who, thank you for not falling asleep. I know you're exhausted.
I am. Yeah. But thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
You're barely holding it up. You're entitled.
Yeah.
It really has been a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah.
Congratulations again on all counts, the work you're doing with the young men and women, and the victories and the near victories and the victories to come. I do hope we get to speak with you again.
Thank you.
Now I say thank you to those who are online. I wasn't even paying you any mind. Let's see. Earl, when you come to Jamaica, Earl same can don't laugh, water come out in your eyes. And he writes it in patois. But thank you all for paying attention to us this morning. Our guest from JPS was as enchanting as ever. And now at least you know, between the 6th and the 12th, you will not be disconnected for any reason. But please conserve your use of the electricity, because this upgrade that JPS is doing will allow them to go down to the nitty-gritty of billing. So they will know every kilowatt of energy that you consume from the 6th to the 12th. You will pay for it later. So don't go to, don't get crazy. And refreshing to have had our Calabar Heidel coach. I don't know. It's no competition there. You have girls on one hand, boys on the other hand. Achieving some, really
historic first
and historic
breaking a dynasty, they call it, in terms of defeating Edwin Allen, Heidel.
Let's not use the word defeat. You're just holding them back for a season. I'm a country girl in Edwin Allen is in my neighborhood from St. Anne, my side of St. Anne. Have a great weekend, everyone. You know that it's Holy Thursday. If you don't get to wash anybody's feet, wash your own, and think about Christ making his way to the cross, so that on Friday, the veil will be torn. Yeah, and all of us become priests and ministers in our own right,
into the Holy
and can walk up and down before the throne of God and kneel down on the floor in JPS customer service office.
I'm praying for them.
Pray for them.
Hey, the prayers bringing fruit.
Easter is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Coach. Have a great weekend.
Bless you.
At the studio, thank you, Lloyd and others, and Mr. Producer, thank you, sir. Percival, thank you. Where's my bun and cheese? Why aren't we eating bun and cheese?
No need to run away. You're not to me. Wait. No need to run away. You're not to me. You're not to me.
You make me wanna run. Heart be racing like a drum. Feel it in my soul. Leave me wanting more. You drum, drum, drum.